Of high school football on iTalk 106.7 FM and iTalk1067.com. Also brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Beamer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, and Comfort Fit Dentures. And now, Sholo Ford presents high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Very good evening, and thank you for joining us here from Coconino High School, where the Snowflake Lobos have made the trip and are going to take on the Coconino Panthers. As I'm Derek Palmer alongside Mike Rogan and Kay Solomon. Coaches, Snowflake coming into this one having lost an awful lot, but returning a key piece, especially in its quarterback. Every game we've covered this far, everybody's been missing quarterbacks, it seems, except for over at Round Valley. It's going to be the case, though, with Coconino. What is the bigger thing to try to overcome, though? Snowflake's situation where it's losing so much up front, or Coconino trying to break in a sophomore quarterback?
I think we got, both, just like you mentioned, with Jacob Leduc coming back. That's a huge piece of the puzzle for Snowflake. And some key pieces around him, some receivers. Christian Smith's back this year, and others that will add to his ability to be successful on the offensive side. But yeah, the big question mark is up front. You graduate your whole offensive line, pretty much your whole defensive line, and games are won and lost in the trenches. Championships are won and lost in the trenches. So this is going to be really important night for the Snowflake offense and defensive fronts to establish themselves, get things figured out as quickly as they can, and find some success both running the ball and protecting Leduc.
Now you've modestly avoided talking about another thing that Snowflake is trying to replace. How do you think Coach Reddick is going to try to weave himself as one of these new variables with all of these new linemen that he's going to have to?
I'm feeling for him right now. I can go back quite a few years ago to my first game as head coach. It was down in Tucson at Amphi High School, and I can still remember that night and that trip down there very well. It was a nerve-wracking time, but Coach Reddick was with me every step of the way for my journey as head coach there at Snowflake, and I've got full confidence in him and his ability to lead this program and keep taking it higher.
All right, we'll continue our conversation here after this as we'll have the keys to the game and checking on some injuries. It's Snowflake making its season opener at Coconino, as it's the likewise opener for the Panthers. We'll have it all coming up for you after this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
You've been there waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down!
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
Here at Coconino High School, the Lobos starting the season on the road against the Coconino Panthers. Both teams had their seasons end a little bit frustratedly a year ago. Coconino in the first round, Snowflake in the semifinals. Talked in the previous, when we were coming in, how both teams are trying to break in an awful lot of personnel, and it sends us to the Ace Hardware keys to the game. Ace Hardware has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car, just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week. Call Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Overguard, and Sholo. Brogan, what's the key?
Well, I think, early in the season, what we're going to look at is who can execute better, who can kind of find their footing. Each team, first game, you kind of try to get out and find your identity. What type of football team are you going to be? Snowflake with a new coach. Coconino's got all new skill players from last year, and so it'll be interesting to see which way they lie. So I think whichever team can execute what they want to do better. I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but I think that's what you're going to get here. Fumbled snaps, things like that I would expect to play a big part early in the season.
With that, though, Solomon, if you have a player like LeDuc that you're able to potentially use to settle all of these new faces down there, what kind of how does that influence any sort of key to the game? Well,
you're always looking for veteran leadership, guys that have that experience and have been there, that have already done this, and even LeDuc last year as a sophomore had the ability to be a calming presence on the field and to lead and help those guys out, and I fully expect that from him tonight. And like I said, there's some other veteran leadership coming back, but the biggest thing I think is this coaching staff. They're most of them were here with me the past few years, and they've got this team ready to go.
All right, we're getting ready here. These are the keys to the game, brought to you by Ace Hardware, which has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car, just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week. Call Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Overguard, and Sholo. We'll continue to get ready here as the Lobos start the season at Coconino. Eventually. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint now has 3 locations to serve you: Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Sholo. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you. Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Lobos getting ready to start the season here against the Coconino Panthers. By the way, starting their season tomorrow, the Arizona State Sun Devils are playing host to NAU, coming from right here in this neck of the woods. And we are going to try to send 4 people over there. There's right now comments pinned at both the YouTube and Facebook broadcast that we have. So if you go into there, grab that comment, share it, like it, and then give us an additional comment, you're going to be put into a drawing to potentially win those 4 tickets, which are primo seats, man. So get in there and start interacting and get the chance to win 4 great seats to tomorrow's ASU-NAU game. Got one more thing we got to do here. With the Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report, Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. First week, but I have seen one Lobo walking around in a sling. I wasn't able to find his name. Do you have any reports there that you can give us as far as who is not healthy for Snowflake?
I didn't see him yet, but I'll keep an eye out for him. We'll try to see if we can spot who that is. I haven't heard of anybody that they were counting on.
Kaiser Flake might be less than available.
So Kaiser is actually a team manager. He wears number 84, but he does all their film and team managing. So
well, shout out to Kaiser Flake for doing the hard stuff.
Does a great job.
All right, so that is the Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. We'll have the kickoff after this. In the meantime, head over, like, comment, and share the pinned comment at both the YouTube and Facebook broadcast. You can see it on both, so you need to do all 3, like, share, and comment to have a chance to win 4 seats to watch ASU and NAU tomorrow. We're going to keep it here for just another brief moment to see who is going to be the day's first victor, as we got
always a good
players.
Always a good day when you can win the coin toss.
Does tails ever fail?
Yes, tails fail. Heads don't always win.
All right, it's up and down.
It's heads. Oh, that looks like a tails. Snowflake wins and defers?
Snowflake wins and defers. We will have the kick for you right after this. It's Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Yeah. Snowflake last year was able to advance to the semifinals, where it was tripped up by Arizona College Prep, which has now been forced to go up to the ranks of 5A. Lobos, of course, technically should be in the 3A conference, but after a series of dominant years, we're now forced to go up to the 4A, where they're now taking on these Coconino Panthers, who are also upended in the early going. First round exit in the playoffs, but losing their quarterback, their leading rusher, don't have an awful lot coming back, so There's going to be an awful lot of question marks that are going to potentially be answered here in the first couple of series as we have the Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do it at your hometown college with the lowest tuition in the state. Now offering bachelor's degree programs in education and business. As teeing this thing up and ready to go.
McCoy Norton, number 14.
Well, I hope they kick this to Vega. He's listed at 5'1", 115, and he looks
every bit of that,
doesn't he? Yeah.
Short kick, going to come up, take it at the 11. Start moving to the right side, and then gets through a little bit of a seam. Now on far sideline, he's over the 50, the 40, and he might be gone. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Coconino. Well, we've been referencing that semifinal matchup against Arizona College Prep. And special teams kind of came in and bit there. Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown just one play in. And special teams play at that. You still got the clock running, so everybody's working out a few bugs.
First game of the year, lots of jitters, and that's not a great start for the Lobos. A low line drive kick right to the return man, and enough blocking there to get him sprung up that sideline.
Believe that returning that was Tate Jones, I believe, is now in to attempt the extra point. It's up and good. So that wound up pulling about 20 extra seconds off the clock. We got 11-17 now, showing 7-0 Coconino with the early advantage. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so we can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain sports.
Already another Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do it at your hometown college. Pay the lowest tuition in the state. Pursue bachelor's degrees in education and business. As Christian Smith is one of the Lobos that are back there. This one angling toward him, and he'll take it right in front of the goal line. Starts moving along the 15, now picks his way over the 20 to the 25 before he spilled. Pretty good return there after a high-hanging kickoff. The exact opposite of what Coconino was able to pursue and then return. But still not terrible field position for Snowflake, which is starting the ball game after winning the toss, deferring, and now trailing 7-0.
You know, we mentioned one of those pieces that the Lobos need to replace. Been spoiled for 3 years with Sam Brown as a very effective, good kicker, and McCoy Norton's young. He's got something to learn, but that low kick was a little bit of a help Coconino out on that first possession there.
Before we could get underway, I think that they're trying to get the play clock reset, or, well, it doesn't matter. Snowflake fakes the handoff to Green. Leduc now starting to move around in the pocket, and he's going to be surrounded and then dropped for a loss back at the 20.
Yeah, it looks like a good push there from the Coconino defensive line. They did a good job taking him out on the outside edge, whoever that was, that defensive end of that linebacker, and kept contained until the inside rush got there. Tell you what, with the clock running the way it is, it's going to be a fast night, though.
10:38 left here. Now 2nd and 14. They're going to give him a generous spot over the 20. Leduc from the shotgun. Oh, busted play as he wanted to hand that off to Green. Slips one tackler. He starts moving to the near sideline. Gets over the 20 to the 25. Lowers his head and is tumbled out of bounds. Does a great job picking up something out of what looked like nothing. Joseph Lucero is there to get the stop eventually, but he got all those yards back, lost on the sack, and plus maybe another couple. But it'll be 3rd and long.
Well, that's one of those early season jitters that I guess talked about. Looks like between the running back, quarterback, someone went the wrong way. And
they're calling it 3rd and 14. We're trying to call this one positioned right in the end zone. So there are certain things that at least one of us is going to struggle seeing.
Yeah, it's closer to 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 11.
3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 with 10 minutes showing on the clock. Again, LeDuc from the gun and the pistol. Fake the handoff, Green. Flip it to the near side where it's caught, but immediately surrounded there and brought down after a short gain is John Jones.
Little now pass to Gian and hoping he can break a tackle there, but good tackle by that number 22, I believe, on the Coconino, who is one of their returners, Dylan Cayado from Coconino. He's one of their guys that showed up on their stat sheets from last year.
So 3 and out after the sack on 1st down, and Cayado is now back to receive, standing around his 25. And now movement on the left side of Snowflake's line. So a false start now. And Snowflake looking as if it is having a little bit of a hard time here in the very early going, implementing many of these new faces. Late entry here off the sideline for Coconino. As now another flag coming out. This time the punt got away, but just before.
Yeah, that came all the way from the back, Judge. I'm wondering what he saw back here.
Was that against Coconino? Or maybe it was an illegal substitution. Wait, nope, they're moving the Lobos back.
They're backing him up. Somebody must have moved.
No, there it goes. Okay, so I think the late entry there, and I'm guessing, but I believe coming off the sideline too late was Robert Schaefer, who's right now lined up in the middle of everything for the return game. So taking turns exchanging 5 yards. Now a kick is going to angle away from Cayardo, take a pretty good Snowflake bounce over the 30 and down toward the 25. So a long field now for the Panthers after a great punt from the Lobos after a frustrating first series. But 7-0, Coconino taking over with the lead. And first time now we'll have a chance to see their sophomore quarterback in Hendrix Utley.
You kind of like Snowflake there, keeping LeDuc on the field in a kind of a little deeper shotgun formation than normal, but it kind of holds the defensive unit in instead of a true kick return, and that gives them a little more field for the punter to work with and allows that ball to roll probably more than you'd get in a traditional punt formation.
Taking a look now as we're talking about how the Lobos are breaking in quite a few new players up front. This isn't necessarily a huge Coconino front as they're going to come out with 4 receivers, 3 coming to the right side. Utley from the shotgun has a high snap that he brings down. Now he's going to try to scramble, get brought down back of the line of scrimmage. That might be a short loss and a sack. Ziggy Olberg, the giant freshman, is there with his first stop.
So you've heard the name Olberg all year last year. Merrick, his brother, was wearing that same jersey. And now you have Ziggy, who, you're right, as a freshman has broken in and is starting on this defensive line. Pretty unusual for a freshman to be seeing time with the Snowflake varsity.
Pretty unusual for a freshman to be listed at 6'4", 245 and actually look it.
Yeah, and what a way to start for a freshman, right? First play.
Same formation. Now Cayardo goes over to the right or left side. Utley drops back and is going to be pressured out of the pocket, slips a few tackles, and then serpentines his way up the middle of the field, gets over the 20, gets the yards lost on the sack, and then maybe another couple. Set up those 3rd and long. Connor Reed there with the stop.
Yeah, that defensive front's going to have to close. They kind of opened up some gaps there, gave a little bit of an escape route, put some pressure on him, kept his eyes from being downfield, but they've got to keep him contained to be effective too.
I said he gained a couple. He gained 10. This will take a little bit of an adjustment here. As here they come again with the same formation correction. Now they got a tight end down on the right of the line. 3 receivers with 2 coming to the near side. As pressure shown a little bit from the Lobos. Utley with the shotgun snap, sets up the option, taken out to Cayardo, but he gets caught at the offensive line there and brought down for a short loss.
Well, from our vantage point, I saw the official step back about half a yard on this sideline, so tackle for loss there, and that's a good hold by that Snowflake defense.
Cayardo there with the carry, but no gain.
it looks like they were really well prepared to handle that option play. That really good. They got a hit on the quarterback and got to the ball carrier in the backfield as well.
Coulter Willis going to receive the punt as the Lobos here look as if they got the stop, and now this one short, angling off to the left. Bounces around the 35. He's going to field that one at the 32 before being met by a trio of Panthers.
Yeah, we got a flag here in the back. I don't know if that's going to be a crackback or a blindside block or if we had a hold back here.
Flag is sitting, what is that, right around the 30 in the middle of the field. Got a quick conversation here as the Lobos have already victimized themselves with some busted protection that led to a sack on the first snap and then struggled with the timing, getting the snap off out of the punting formation. Now we kind of have another conference. They keep pointing back as if this is going to be something that Snowflake was guilty of.
Well, and the flag came out well after the punt, so it might be whether they're talking about it getting that thing marked off from the end of the punt, or
I think I saw him signal holding. It is definitely against Snowflake.
Well,
personal foul they announce.
Yeah, I thought the way he threw it and from who threw it, I felt like that's in the magic spot for a crackback. We're having a hard time with that play clock.
So pretty good field position just turned into not. Move it all the way back to the 17. 6:56 to go, 7-0 Coconino with the lead. Took the opening kickoff all the way in for the game score. Now LeDuc from the gun, hands this one off Green, goes to the right side, gets stood up, but still able to use his inertia to get down to the 23, gain 6.
A little different formation than what we're used to seeing, a little pistol one back set there. We've been used to those two back sets all the time, but expecting to have a good year from Brenner Green this year. So
I think we'll see that a lot this year. More of a single back look from the Lobo offense is part of their plan, and Brenner Green definitely a good downhill straight ahead runner.
Fake the handoff to try to drop back, and LeDuc again brought down in the backfield. That time Brady Sigler there with the sack. That's Stigler. All the way back to the 15, a loss of 9.
Yeah, really good job by the defensive end there for Coconino. Came through unblocked, and he didn't fall for that kind of that zone read play. He stayed on the quarterback, which I'm sure is his assignment.
Now in a passing situation, Snowflake will send Jones out wide to the right side. Handoff is fake to Green. Going to throw this one to the near sideline where they got some busted coverage, but just a little bit overthrown. So that one was available as open on the passing play was Christian Smith, but just a little bit overgunned.
Yeah, he had a step or two, and they just couldn't connect. That's probably a ball in 2 weeks that they, that they connect on. But
all right, so the punting unit back out there. Interesting, now Coconino doesn't look like it has anybody deep. Cayado was ready to receive the last punt. He's right now slowly moving back toward the area of the field where you would expect him to receive. Because a very short snap there for LeDuc, who's going to punch this one back of the 50. Had by Cayado, who's already over the 40 in Snowflake territory, but then brought down. The coverage was a little bit late getting down there, but Mason Rabin was able to make up for it. But excellent field position here for Coconino, already leading 7-0 with 5:25 to go in the first.
Well, it'll be probably baby steps a little bit here for that Snowflake offense. They did find something with Brenner Green on that first carry, but then a couple of kind of busted plays and missed assignments, and those things are typical early on. Like we mentioned, the keys to the game. Takes a little bit to find your footing and figure out some of those things in a live setting like this.
Second look at Utley. Gained 8 yards on 2 carries, but was sacked as he's in the shotgun. Got a running back standing on his left. Fake the handoff to him. Starts running in that direction. Looking for some blocking help. He patiently waits at the 40. Now accelerates toward the far sideline and nearly runs through a tackle to get to the 31. gain of 11 will be enough for a first down. Merrill was there possibly stopping a touchdown run.
Yeah, it looked like that was designed as an inside run, and then he was able to break that outside and just use his speed to get to the corner.
He's not very big, awfully slight of build, but he's slippery,
Yeah,
is Hendricks Utley.
Certainly got some quicks.
Now that's his third carry for 19 yards. Does move the chains to the 31. 7-0 Panthers lead. 4:49 to go here in the first. Threatening the red zone is Coconino as they come out. Two receivers coming to the near side. And another running back now standing on the right of Utley, who's going to again fake the handoff, run to the right side, get into the second level where he's spinning around at the 25 and then suplexed there, but gains 6. Coulter Willis with the stop.
Utley showing good patience when he goes. He's just kind of going hiding behind that right or left side of the line those last two plays and kind of waiting to see what opens up inside or outside, and got some good yards there again.
2nd down and 4 from the 24. In the backfield with him, but seemingly as a decoy, is Dylan Buckley. They faked it and then ran in that direction both times. As he's now standing on Utley's left. Utley from the shotgun, again with receivers on either side. Gets that snap away. This time hands it to Buckley, goes right up the gut, and is going to be very close to the yard marker, approaching the 20. Nichols got there, but the question is was it before he was able to move the chains?
Looks like it's enough for the first down. They're signaling to move the chains. So.
Any adjustments that you've recognized on this second series here for Coconino? Or just making sure that it stays primarily in Utley's hands? It seems as if he's generally been unwilling to let it go to either of his running backs, that time using the bigger Buckley on the more short-yarded situation. Now in the red zone at the 21, I should say. Snap a little bit wide, fakes the handoff, starts running to the left, slips a tackler as he gets to the 15, eventually spun down as he stays on his feet and fights his way out to the 13. Willis again there with the stop, but not before another big gain, this time of 8.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing the offensive lines blocking better this possession. So the first possession, 2 of the 3 plays we had, Snowflake had a number of defenders in the backfield, and where here it looks like the offensive line's executing a little bit better, keeping defenders out of the backfield.
I think a flag, though, is it seemed as if the left side of Coconino's line was moving. So I got that one moving now back to the 26. So loss of 5 on what I believe is a procedure penalty. 3 minutes and 3 seconds to go, 7-0. The Panthers lead. We're nearly in the red zone on the previous play, and then we're definitely after the run, but negated. And now looking at 1st and 15. Same formation again, using Buckley off to the left with 2 receivers going in that direction, and now another flag comes out. This is delay of game.
It is. Yeah, they weren't watching that play clock, and it ran down on them there.
Well, the Lobos right now are saying, give me some more. They needed something to give them a shot in the arm, and now here comes 1st and 20 all the way back at the 31.
See a little frustration from Coach Cook on that one too, though. I don't think the officials had released the ball. That play clock was running, and they weren't allowing them to snap the ball.
Snap again, moves to the right side. Hesitation as Buckley's able to go up the middle and get over the 20. Got all the yards lost on those 2 penalties and then another couple. Rabin was there with the stop, but again, a big hole as soon as he got right at the point of attack there, as Buckley with the 12-yard gain sets up 2nd down and a much more manageable 7 or 8.
Yeah, again, nice hole opened up there by the offensive line and good hard running.
But 2nd down and 9. Don't know anything about what Coconino might have up its sleeve as far as its kicking game goes as the clock ticks under 2 minutes to play. Going to have Utley again with Buckley on his left. Fake the handoff. Utley keeps it, starts moving in that direction. Nearly slips one tackler, but then gets punched by another few Lobos, especially Hayden Nichols. Loss of 2 makes it 3rd down and 10. And that's the same look that Utley had been using to victimize Snowflake's front, faking the handoff and running in that same direction. But this time, I think the first one there was Olberg.
And Oberg did a good job not getting caught inside of that and was able to string that out a little bit and turn the quarterback back up for those linebackers to kind of come in and fill and finish it off.
75 seconds left here, first quarter, 7-0. Coconino leading, trying to take advantage of excellent field position. This drive started around the 41. Hendricks Utley, who has now 23 yards after that loss, takes the shotgun snap, looks to pass as he moves the pocket to the right, unloads, gets that one in the flat where it's caught, and then moved over to the 11, very close to the yard marker. Raven there with the stop, but on the catch, Austin Raths.
Yeah, nice play there. They just, had a potential of making that tackle short of that first down line, and just close, but just quite didn't get it done.
9 yards on the play, 4th down and 1. Clock continuing to move after timeout was taken. I think that the frustration wasn't necessarily with the officials. It's the first game here for now they got it stopped at 39. Remember, after the opening kick was returned, they allowed about 20 or 30 seconds to tick away, and I don't think that the delay of game was because the official didn't have his ball set. It was the timekeeper was kind of asleep at the switch.
It feels like it's randomly rotating between 40 and 25 seconds.
So that's normal. When there's no stoppage of play on the officials, then it automatically should reset to 40 at the end of a play, and then you have a 40-second play clock. But if the officials stop play and address a penalty or whatever else, then it's a 25-second play clock from when they wind it. But I've timed it out quite a few times last year when we didn't have the play clocks on the field, and it works out about the same, pretty close to the same every time.
4th and 1 after Coconino takes the timeout. I believe it was Coconino. They haven't changed anything on the scoreboard. Big package with now Collado back there as well as Buckley. And into the neutral zone go the Lobos, and the flag is out. So that'll move the chains, and it should be 1st and goal. 46 seconds left, 7-0 Coconino took the opening kick back, and then after Snowflake looked as if it was going to have pretty good field position, a personal foul on the punt return pushed the Lobos back, and then another sack, the second of the early part of the ball game, put Snowflake in a tough spot. A pretty good return out to the 40. And now methodically moving inside the 10. Turn and give Buckley again, goes right up the middle, and he's at the goal line. Gonna say he's just short. Gain of 6, 2nd down and goal from inside the 1.
And again, he was, about 5 yards downfield before he's contacted, so that offensive line's doing a great job, and it seems like they're getting to that second level and getting those linebackers clipped as well.
Utley under center again with both Buckley and Collado as he again goes Buckley, and he's in untouched. A Comfort Fit Denture touchdown and a 41-yard drive gives Coconino a 2-score lead. The Lobos right now here at the closing moments of the first quarter with an awful lot that they have to try to consider.
Yeah, a lot of those first game jitters and early mistakes that we're seeing. We're seeing a few good things mixed in there too, and I would expect as we make some adjustments as the Lobo coaching staff points some things out, then they'll get some adjustments made and things will smooth out a little bit.
Extra point is down and up and good. 11 seconds remaining here in the first, 14-0. Snowflake trailing Coconino. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College, where you will pay the lowest tuition in the state, and you could potentially pursue bachelor's degrees in Education and business is this one again, angling to the far side. Going to be gathered there by Smith as he looks for a little blocking help at the 15. Now have to come along the 15 as he's retreating before he turns the corner at the 20 and then gets belted. That should be the final play of the first quarter. It was a long way to go for essentially a touchback as Lucero was able to eventually track him down. And Snowflake with another long field in front of it, trailing 14-0 moving into the second. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down!
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
All right, Lobos got about 80 yards, and LeDuc is going to go with the design run. Bounces off one tackler to get to the 25, spins away from another. He's still on his feet over the 30. Snowflake needed a shot in the arm. Jacob LeDuc there with a 12-yard gain before Tate Jones brings him down.
What I would expect this drive, you're going to maybe kind of see it going back to the roots. A lot of power run probably with Jacob LeDuc and Brenner Green here, and then maybe take a shot after they've established that run game a little bit.
LeDuc listed 6 feet 205, and again, seemingly every bit of it is he's got 3 receivers coming to the right, 1 split wide left. Green near him on the right side as they turn and give it to Green. Now he's going to go weaving his way up the middle, gets over the 40 to the 50, and tackled forward into Coconino territory. Snowflake with 31 yards on its first 2 plays. Cayado there with the stop.
Little dose of their own medicine for Coconino. As soon as LeDuc hits them and hurts them for some yards, then they hand the ball off, and Coconino's watching LeDuc, and there goes Green up the middle.
14-0, Snowflake trailing. Reminder that we have pinned comments at both the YouTube and Facebook broadcast. If you like, share, and comment to that comment, you have a chance to win 4 tickets to tomorrow's ASU-NAU game. LeDuc from the shotgun. Handoff again, Green starts coming to the near side, this time stopped after a short gain of a couple.
Yeah, good job there by Jeffs, kind of running that thing down from the backside. It looked like they were going to had something right at the point of attack, but he came off that defensive end spot. Look for them maybe to pull that here and kind of attack that spot where he left.
Lobos aren't necessarily hurrying, but they are also kind of foregoing a huddle, as there's 10.5 to go in the first half. Handoff is fake to Green. LeDuc retreats, now flips this one over the top where there's all sorts of contact, and here comes the flag. Panthers don't like it, but it looked like going over the top of the back there was Aceval. Intended man
Christian
was
Smith.
Or was it Willis?
I think it was Smith, number 1.
Okay.
That's what I saw. Panthers don't like it, but they don't have anybody to blame but themselves. I don't know that he would have made it back to that ball, but the contact was definitely early.
Well, right, and it did, like you said, Coach, it took his opportunity away to come back and make a play. Whether it gets there or not, who knows, but
it's the right call
for
sure.
That opportunity, right?
So another big chunk of yards here for the Lobos after they were held to 1 or 2 on the first down play after getting it into Coconino territory, all the way out to the Panther 33. 10:05 to go, 14-0 they trail as LeDuc is going to go with another designed run, tries the right side, bounces nearly off of one tackler, but then cut down by Cayado. Getting there first and holding him up. Got to give a shout out there because it was a big stop and hold there by Gavin Moran. Had he not been able to hold on to LeDuc, I don't know if Cayado was going to have a chance.
And just looks like an old quarterback follow there. They run Green through the hole and had Leduc follow and just trying to outnumber everybody in the hole, but Coconino did a good job holding their ground.
Just gains 1. Pistol formation, Green behind Leduc. Turns, Gibbs, Green trying the left side, squirts through a couple of tacklers, stays on his feet over the 25, and then fights his way down to the 23.
A good little hole off the left side that time, and Brenner Green's good at finding just a gap and hitting that hard and getting straight north-south. He's not a side-to-side runner. He's going to go north and south up and down the field.
Looks like they only gave him 8 yards on the carry, 3rd down and 1 according to the scoreboard. Same formation with Trips coming to the right side. Now the lead blocker, Green, sets it up for Leduc, who goes charging through the left side of the line, gets to the 21, and I don't think there's any doubt this time it's a first down.
Well, we saw that quite a bit last year in short yardage and goal line situations with Jacob Leduc is a really good short yardage back. And he's hard to bring down. He's always falling forward. He's a powerful runner, so you get in those short yardage situations, it plays well to his strengths.
I don't want to sound like I'm throwing shade here, but the ball's been on the 21-yard line since this drive started. We've been trying to call this thing from the end zone as Leduc takes the shotgun snap, turns and gives Green, again trying to go in that same direction, goes over the 20, down to the 19. Believe that's a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Well, Derek, we don't have a whole lot of young eyes here either, so when you get about 80 yards away from the play, I don't know which one of us can see what's going on.
I definitely don't know where these guys are falling. That time does look like it's a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Continuing with the same formation, this time a man lined up just off the right side of the line, and it looked like Green was trying to go in that direction, but fighting his way through and disrupting that one by the shoestring. Looked like that was again Moran.
Yeah, it looks like he had a little bit of a seam there and just got tripped up.
Yep, got down low, got a hand on his ankle and tripped him up.
7:40 to go, 3rd down and 7. Is it enough just to put 3 on the board here after the first quarter? Snowflake hopeful that it's not going to have to answer that question, as this time there's receivers on either side. Green in the pistol. They will turn and no, Leduc's going to keep that one, start moving from the center of the field to the right, then cut back to the left. Runs along toward the 15. And I think that was an awful long way to go to get 2 yards there, as Collado was eventually going to bring him down, but Leduc ran about 20 yards in both the right and left directions. Looks like, according to the scoreboard, he didn't gain anything. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah, waiting for him to update that. Looks like he got about 2, maybe 4th and 5. Did they switch that too? But yeah, he's trying to run that to the left, but didn't have what he was looking for and had to cut back and forth a little bit.
Field goal unit's going to stay on the sideline. Leduc drops back looking to pass, coming to the near side with lots of time. Now he's going to flip this one over toward the far sideline where it's hauled down and brought in by Willis. They needed 5. It looks like they got 10.
Yeah, they got inside the 10 there, so that's a good job by Jacob getting out to the right in that little waggle, and then he bought himself just another second. It looked like he was going to take off and run, but that good patience. I don't think he would have got there if he'd have ran it, and then Willis did a good job kind of working back, and I think he cut his route off and came back to that, so that's a good job by both players.
6:31 to go here, second quarter. Snowflake trailing 14-0, but has it in an end goal situation. Ball spotted at the 9. No pressure there brought by Coconino. Looked like they were more worried about Leduc beating him with the feet, as he's got Green behind him. He's now run for 38 yards, 10 for Leduc, but now it looks like the play clock's showing zeros.
Good timeout. No, I think...
they've announced a flag, though, but hold on.
Trevor got the timeout before the flag.
All right, timeout taken by Snowflake. 6:11 to play in the second quarter. 14-0 the Lobos trail. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Handoff Green as he goes over the right side, and again, another player untouched into the end zone. This time, it's Green from 9 yards out to get Snowflake on the board. Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown, just what the doctor ordered, because the Lobos were having a really hard go after allowing the opening kick to get sent back, and then a 41-yard drive, almost entirely on the ground. Snowflake needed an answer and used Leduc and Green to provide.
A really good run there by Brenner. Just that whole open, he hits it hard, and he gets on. I mean, he's at the goal line before he's touched. So.
Smith holding Norton in to try to cut the lead in half. And some movement. Everybody accusing the other. There's still 3 seconds.
Yeah, looks like there was a jump from the Coconino end.
No.
Yeah, if that's
now if they're going to go half the distance, Snowflake says maybe we try for 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's certainly what I would do. We were talking earlier about what a big drive that was. A great answer there by Snowflake to get that thing in the end zone. Down 14-0 early in the season. You know, you can see teams go one of 2 ways, and it's good to see them kids respond. Good resilience.
Very important drive. We see Xander Alcantar check in with Brenner Green, so they've got a heavy backfield here.
Under center, Leduc turns, gives Green, looking for some help as he goes to the right side, fighting his way toward the goal line, and eventually is able to fall into the end zone for the 2-point conversion after the miscue there by the Panthers. 14-8, the Lobos are on the board, 6:05 to go in the first half. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
Yep. He looks like
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do it at your hometown college with the lowest tuition in the state, now offering bachelor's degree programs in education and business. The Lobos were on their heels, trailing 14-0, but just went about 80 yards, and now McCoy out to kick it away, where it is going to be fielded by Cayato inside the 5, patiently waiting for his blocking help to develop as he goes over the 20 and then eventually forced out of bounds. That might be a late hit. It looks as if the officials are going to keep that in the pocket on the Coconino sideline. That's moxie.
Kick was much better this time, and
coverage too.
Coverage was better. Yeah.
Still room for improvement, but that kick was up in the air and down deep into the inside the 5-yard line.
That wasn't necessarily a tackle, but we have an early potential there for the Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. If you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GLASSMAN. It's more of a pancake block there that is going to maybe require some dental work here, as Utley is going to keep this one, try to come to the left, and then eventually settle on the middle, but will eventually settle for 1 yard.
I think you're going to see this Lobo defense settle in. The 2 linebackers, Hayden Nichols and Connor Reed, they'll stop biting so much on those fakes and seeing those blocks coming at them a little bit better, and they'll start playing that look a little bit more effectively.
All right, Utley's listed 5'11", 160. That hit had him going to the sideline, seemingly holding his lumbar. As we'll keep an eye on that one. He's already taken a few licks, and I said 5'10", 160 listed there as he's going to operate from the pistol, turn, and give Cayato as he's able to slip one tackler at the line of scrimmage, then spin around at the 40, very close to the yard marker. Snowflake won the toss, elected to defer. So hopeful here to get a shot to tie or take a lead as Jackson Merrill eventually brings him down. but that looks as if it was enough for a first down. Callado with his first positive yardage from scrimmage. Now he is being removed and running a little bit awkwardly off the field to his sideline. So we got a couple of players to keep an eye on here as he is taking a knee over there on the Coconino sideline. Utley, who we were just watching hold his kidney capacity, is coming out with the play as it's spotted at the Coconino 42. They did move the chains here. 4 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the second quarter, 14-8. But with all of these potential injuries, I think the Panthers have just decided that they probably need to talk it over. And that is the signal there. So they will use their second timeout, leading 14-8 with 4:48 to go. First down play on the other end of this. It's Show Low Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint now has 3 locations to serve you: Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Show Low. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
Keeping an eye on the sideline by the potential Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report, as Callado looked as if he was having a hard time getting to the sideline, forcing Coconino to use its second timeout. Can't see who's in the backfield with Utley, who also looked like he was kind of holding his back. That might be Buckley. Of all of the ball carriers here that Coconino has used, Buckley seems as if he's got the frame to potentially take the pounding that Snowflake's front seven can administer, as that's a pretty good run from the mystery man.
I think it might be 24, Derek, number 24, Reagan, who was also one of their returning players. Yep.
A.J. Reagan there.
Coconino's just going to lean on that offensive line, I think, here for the rest of the half. Try to get an extended drive in here.
Gain of 5 there for Reagan. Moves it out to the Coconino 47. Same formation with Reagan off to the right. Utley going to keep this one, set up the short option pitch. It's cut down in the backfield.
Nice play there.
King.
Guys, be very assignment sound on the option both times they've seen it so far tonight.
Clock's under 4 minutes to go. Lobos with a chance here to get a stop and have an awful lot of time to potentially work with. Snowflake still with 2 timeouts, but need to make good on this 3rd down and 6. Only 1 pass play thus far for Hendricks Utley, and it was in a situation similar to this in the first quarter in that part of that scoring drive. He's got 2 receivers coming to the near side, one going to the short side on his right. Short drop looking in that direction, flips it up, and it's caught over the 50 at the 48. That might be enough. Irvin King, who just had the great play there with the softer coverage, keeps him in front, does a great job of that, but is it enough to move the chains? It looks like it was.
Yeah, just a nice little out route there, and the quarterback delivers the ball right on time, and just right at the sticks. Pretty good football just to keep that drive alive.
Tackled out of bounds to stop the clock at 3:25 to go in the second quarter, 14-8. Coconino with the football and the lead. Again with the same formation, 2 receivers coming out wide to the left. Handoff as a flag comes out. Tackled after a very short gain. Rabin there again getting the call, but let's see who this is going to be against.
Looks like it's a sideline warning. What was given by the official over on that side.
Nichols there with the stop. Coconino is administered its sideline warning. So 2nd down and 9 after Reagan's 1-yard gain.
Nice play there by Hayden Nichols. You see him recognize that hole open up, and he slashes in there and holds him to a very short gain.
Same formation, you got Wraiths now coming off in the slot on the left. 2nd and 9. Reagan, beg your pardon, is off on the left. They're going to fake the handoff, look again to throw to the right side where it's well covered coming to the near side, but hauled down. No, incomplete.
Really really nice ball there by the quarterback. He put it right on his hands. He just wasn't able to come down with the ball. He got both hands on it, but Snowflake catches a break there.
Mason Rabin there, step for step with him on the defense, but just a little late getting his head around. So, but
Habib Asaval was the intended receiver. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, boy. Personal foul, roughing the passer, is called on Snowflake. I did not see any of that. I was trying to watch the ball coming up the far sideline, so automatic first down here. I say automatic 15 yards and a first down on a 2nd and 9 play. So deep into Snowflake territory on the 4th Lobo penalty, down to the Lobo 32. 2 receivers out wide left. Reagan still the single back as they set up the option coming to the near side, but again the Lobos ready for it.
Nice job, Jackson. Jackson Merrill coming up from his outside backer position.
No gain there. Reagan has come in and taken some licks, but quarterback Hendricks Utley completes the 3rd down pass to make sure that the drive is extended, and then the personal foul called after he was roughed on a play that, again, we didn't get to see because we were following the football. He's been making the plays that not necessarily the way he was doing it on that scoring drive when they were almost exclusively with his feet. Now in a passing situation, that was actually a loss of 1. Reagan's still in the backfield, this time off on Utley's right, drops back, moves the pocket to the right side, now pressured, slips one tackler, trying to stay on his feet as he gets to the 35, and then tackled out of bounds at the 30, the Lobos, and there comes the flag. Had wondered if they were going to be able to get away with it again after it seemed as if there might have been a late hit out of bounds right at Coconino's sideline.
Yeah, I think they got a block in the back or an illegal block on the ball on 71, and then I think you're going to get an offset.
Yeah, I think the first flag was the block in the back, and then late hit out of bounds for a little bit further down the field.
Yeah,
but perhaps
they got Olberg, I think.
Yeah, that might be Olberg who got rolled up. Here we see Utley rolling the pocket to the right side, and right here you see the block in the back. I think both of those flags might be for that play, as right now
I think it's 27.
It's Olberg, yeah.
Olberg.
It is Olberg? I thought it might be number 72, who has a name that I don't dare try.
Lane Lecheminant.
I'll take your word for it.
And that's probably
wrong,
it
is Olberg.
That's what I called him anyway.
He is able to hop up and walk off under his own power. All right, so now the question is sorting out the flags, of which there are 2. We got a block in the back that is whistled against Coconino. Is there a second?
Yep.
And
so by rule, they should walk both of them off.
Since the second one was after the play.
It was a dead ball, yeah. And,
so the original line of scrimmage was the 32, and it looks as if not. Did they replay 2nd down? Is my follow-up question.
No, the play should hold. If the play doesn't count, they would have had to offset the penalties for the play not to have counted. But since the play counted, the down's got to count with it.
All right, the yard marker and scoreboard are both still showing 2nd down, though.
Yeah, you can't have a dead ball foul after the play and not lose the down of the play. Well, hold on, let me take that back. Because Snowflake accepted the penalty, it's going to be repeating 2nd down. I'm sorry.
Okay. So and that's what the officials, we assume, are talking about right now, is at least 2 of them are standing over the football.
And maybe, Coach, personal foul in high school is not an automatic first down, right? It's just the 15 yards.
It's based on yardage, yeah.
So it will be 2nd down and 5 now from inside the Snowflake 30. Utley. Now it looks as if, is that still Reagan in the backfield? No, that's Callado, as there's no drop coming to the near side. Nearly a one-handed grab there from Wraiths, but it's too tall. Stops the clock with 1 minute and 54 seconds left, and another 3rd down here for the Panthers.
Little 2-man game out here on the edge with those 2 receivers. They run one down the field, and then send another one on an out route underneath him, and they've had some success there, but that ball was just a little off target.
Under 2 minutes to go, and again, we can only speculate about the Coconino kicking game. I'm wondering if this is going to be 4-down territory here in the second quarter, as they got another 3 receivers set, 2 coming to the near side. Callado is in the backfield to Utley's left. They fake the handoff to him, try to throw this one over the top. It was well defended. Now here comes a flag.
A ways back behind where the defenders were, too. I'm wondering what we're going to see here.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, if they're calling a hold or something coming out of the
or a
break.
pick or a screen or something, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it is a pick.
It looks like they're marking it off against Snowflake.
They got 88. Looked like he jammed him as he was coming out of the break. That's
a tough one. That gives them the first down here. They had a chance to hold them at least to 3. Derek, you mentioned the kicking game. I noticed his last PAT that the Coconino kicker was pretty solid. He put it about to that scoreboard back behind the field goal post. So I think they're in field goal range if it came to that here.
It's inside the 20 at the Lobo 18, 14-8. Coconino with the lead, looking to expand here in the closing minutes. Shotgun snap, turn, and give Callado, but he's stopped back at the line of scrimmage, still able to twist and turn his way to the 15 to pick up 2. They're a little extracurricular.
Yep, little dancing going on there with some between some offensive, defensive linemen.
Callado, who came off the field after his 10-yard gain, he had the opening kick that he returned for the touchdown, but that gain of 10 before he vacated was his first positive yardage in just his second carry. That's only his 3rd right there to get him to 12 yards on 3 carries. 2nd down and 8, taking their time coming to the line of scrimmage with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Callado is off to the left. Utley from the shotgun. High snap brought down, starts running to the right side. Met by one man, tackled forward to the 11. 3rd down and short. King there.
I like what I'm seeing from Coach Reddick and the Lobo coaching staff here. Just get this the halftime. They gained some momentum with that drive and those points they scored. Some coaches are trying to save a little bit of time here, maybe get the ball back and take a shot, but wouldn't be a good plan in this situation.
Likewise, Coconino, very patient, still has 1 timeout.
And I think what you said earlier, Coach, the Snowflake defense really sounds like really feels like they're starting to come together now. Their assignments are better.
Just 5 seconds on the play clock. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Coconino has to use its final timeout there as it was about to have another delay of game penalty. Mike, your thought?
Yeah, I was just saying it looks like the defense has started to step up a little bit. Their assignment football is a little bit better. They've had multiple opportunities to get off this field on this drive. But for the 2 penalties, they probably would have stopped this drive twice. So a lot of good positive stuff defensively on this drive as well.
Reminder that we're giving away 4 tickets to tomorrow's ASU game. There are pinned comments at both the YouTube and Facebook broadcast. Like, comment, and share if you want a chance to be in a drawing to win those 4 great seats to watch ASU and NAU. Again, you have to go to those, one of the 2, I should say, either YouTube or Facebook, and like and comment and share. As you can see now, Coach Reddick looks as if he's pleading a case. I think that this is probably about that whole thing regarding the pass interference flag, which seemed as if it was a little bit of small change. I, of course, am a homer, so maybe one of you 2 more unbiased gentlemen can correct me, but it looked as if there was a little bit of contact, but not what they haven't already allowed them to play through, I beg your pardon.
No, and I think when you look at that too, the offensive line, there's been offensive linemen, defensive linemen on the ground every play. It's been really physical up front, and you hate to see the game be physical and then have a back judge throw kind of a softer flag. You just would like some more consistency.
3rd down and 4, moving the pocket to the near side. Utley going to tuck it now as he runs toward the 10.
Oh, he's out of bounds.
His
foot's out of bounds.
They're going to say it was caught inside the 5. As we're taking a look at the replay, he was not out of bounds. But was he over the line of scrimmage is my question.
No, they did call it incomplete. He stepped out of bounds before he caught the ball.
No, the receiver was out of bounds.
Yeah, the receiver was out of bounds.
Okay. Another nifty play there from Hendricks Utley, but now 4th down and 4. And coming out to do some kicking here is Easton Quiros. Where's number 79? Oh, low snap, but it's going to be put down, up and good. So run the score out 17-8.
Well, you look at it from both sides of the field here. You know, if you're Coconino, that's a successful drive. They ate a lot of time off the clock and put some points on the board. And if you're the Lobos, you just saw that defense start to gel even a little bit more. They've struggled with some misdirection and spying on those running backs and quarterback, and they're just coming together a little bit more. You see the play improving as the game goes on here.
And again, looking back at that 2-point conversion, 17-8, the lead still in the single digits, which feels again like a little bit of a boost that the Lobos could boast. Is right now coming back to potentially receive. Closest to us here, Kristen Smith-Jones is also standing along the 5 as Quiros kicks this one and angles it towards Smith. He's going to take that one near the 5, patiently allows his blocking to develop as he gets to the 30, loses the football, but it's scooped up by one of the Lobos, who's going to get another couple of yards out of it, but now just 4 seconds to play.
Sunday hop to Jack Butler, the defensive end for the Lobos on that kickoff special teams.
Hey, not to be that guy, but I think they sure like that extra minute that ran off the clock on those first 2 plays.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to have them back right now.
You can direct your hate mail to Coach Mike Brogan. Though he's not entirely wrong. What do you do with these 4 seconds? You just take a knee and go and get in the locker room, or do you go ahead and see if LeDuc can air something out?
You know, I think either one. You got some speed out there, but obviously they're going to play way back. You know, there you go.
Handoff Green as he's going to go from the right to the left along the 50. He's looking for some blocking help as he gets to the 40 in Coconino territory. Still on his feet as he gets over the 30, but he's just going to run out of real estate.
Oh, we're running time off the second half already.
Is there a flag down?
Somebody wants to get home.
That's right.
Is there a flag down? The officials, or are they just talking about the halftime clock?
I think he's just trying to get him to stop the clock and reset it.
So a big run there for Green, which I believe is going to go for 36 yards. We'll pad his stats going into the locker room. Snowflake is set to receive the kick to start the second half, in which they'll trail 17-8. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learning new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane, That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down!
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
This is iTalk 106.7's presentation of the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store Halftime Show.
Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show for the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear. Go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260, just before you get to the Honda Casino. The score at halftime is 17-8. Got two sustained drives from Coconino, which led to the last 10 points. Snowflake had one that started the second quarter, especially the first two from each. Well, no, actually, you go back and look at all three. Very long and sustaining drives. Both teams looking like they want to keep the ball on the ground. To which unit does this shift the most attention if everybody's going to try to ground and pound?
Well, maybe the defensive unit, since the defense that can adjust and start making the most stops is probably gonna help their team be successful here tonight. And you know, we've seen that. I think as you look back on this first half, Coconino definitely started with some huge momentum from that kickoff return. You know, a lot of mistakes on the Snowflake side of the defense on that first Coconino drive as well. Not to take anything away from the Panthers, they executed well. A little two-man run game between Utley and number 44. His name escapes me. Buckley. You know, very effective at misdirecting the eyes of defensive linemen and linebackers, and so that second drive relied on that a lot. But you've seen that Snowflake defense start to adjust to that. Guys playing a lot more assignment sound football and keying on the right things, and shut that down a little bit more.
How difficult is it to field that opening kick, especially when you're trying to replace as many starters as Snowflake is trying to do?
You know, you do. You'd have a lot of guys with not much experience, and the speed of the game at this level compared to what most of them have played at the JV and freshman levels so far, just a lot quicker. Things are going to happen a lot quicker. Your angles have to be a little bit better and more forgiving. And like we pointed out before, you know, the kick was low and directly to a running kick receiver, and so all of those things combined. But you know what? Those things are going to happen, and better they happen now, and you learn from them and start figuring that out early on.
Hendricks Utley was the story in the first scoring drive for Coconino, where he had carried the ball 5 times for 23 yards. A lot of that was with Buckley in the backfield, as he also had 24 yards on that carry. But when he's had to, made excellent plays with his arm, as you're seeing one right now. What do the Lobos need to do to contain him?
You know, I think they've started to do a better job. They've done a really good job containing on the option. The 3 or 4 times that they've run that. I think a couple of those big runs that he was able to jump on that first possession, they kind of lost contain a little bit, and he kind of ran it up inside and then was able to bounce out. I think they've done a much better job keeping that contained, and that's kind of forced him into, like we talked about, he's kind of a smaller, shifty guy, and so if you can keep him in between the tackles, I think you really limit his productivity in there, and they did a pretty good job after that first half of doing that. I feel as watching as they got better and better, and Coach and I were talking, especially when you got younger maybe not even younger, but some inexperienced players that are kind of gaining their first experience, you're going to see some marked improvement from the beginning of game one to the end of game one. Because, I mean, some of these kids have doubled and tripled the amount of plays that they've actually got to participate in one half. And so I think you saw that, especially with the defense and the defensive line. I feel like they just got better and better and better. You saw Willis at the linebacker position started making more plays, as well as Merrill. And I think you can feel it feels like they're just starting to get acclimated to the game, and I would expect them to even come out and have a better second half than they did at the end of that first half.
Two players that don't need any acclimation, though, LeDuc and Green. When the Lobo offense was humming, they were really relying especially on their footwork. How do they continue to leverage their experience and feet?
I think, the offensive line is starting to open some good holes too. We've seen that, and with the offensive line getting pushed, those two are going to be tough to stop no matter who they're looking at. Lobos threw the ball around a little bit too, not successfully, not a whole lot yet, but I think we're gonna be able to see that a little bit more. A lot of things encourage me as I watch the Lobo team walk off the field at halftime, and one of them is watching this coaching staff put their heads together. You won't find many coaching staffs that can pinpoint and make it just a few key adjustments that are going to be effective in this second half.
All right, we'll continue our conversation here at the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260, just before you get to the Honda Casino. 17-8, Coconino leading the Lobos at intermission. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Scoring plays.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
The Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show for the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear. Go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store, north of Pine Top on Highway 260, just before you get to the Honda Casino, as we bring in Guy Chili, who's going to take us through the scoring drives. Coconino got it off fast.
Oh, they did. They took the opening kickoff back 89 yards. Dylan Collardo for the touchdown, and Easton Quiros nailed the extra point.
After Snowflake stalled on its first possession, Coconino was able to do what?
They were able to score another touchdown with Dylan Buckley on a 1-yard run. Mr. Quiros got the extra point for them.
How long was that drive?
That drive was
it's just short field, just 40 yards.
41 yards.
And that was when Snowflake was having a little bit of a hard go, trying to make sure that it was able to move the ball forward, continuing to have a little bit of a hard time on its first two drives, with sacks in particular. But after that, Lobos were able to really get things settled, really rely on Leduc and Green running the football. How did that one go?
Well, Brenner Green had a 9-yard run, and he also ran in the 2-point conversion. It was their best drive of the half, and Brenner Green's really got some wheels there.
Then after the kickoff, Coconino was able to work most of the clock. And tell us a little bit about that.
Coconino had the ball for 5 minutes and 59 seconds. They went 51 yards, and they got the field goal by Kuros, a 27-yard field goal. It was helped with some, I don't know if I'd say questionable, but there was some. They got some yards that way. Got some stats for Coconino. Hendricks Utley had 17 yards passing. Austin had 17 yards rushing. It's a game of 17. Collardo has 12. Reagan came in and he had some good carries for 5 yards, and Buckley was the workhorse with 24.
And then for the Lobos?
And for Snowflake, Jacob Leduc had 11 yards rushing on 3 carries. Gian Jones had a carry. Mr. Willis had a reception for 10 yards. And Leduc was 10 yards rushing. And Green had 8 carries for 63 yards and the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to round out the scoring for Snowflake.
That's what the numbers look like here as we continue the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show. Reminder that there is a comment pinned at both the YouTube and Facebook broadcast. If you want to go over there and try to win 4 tickets to tomorrow's ASU game, like it, share it, comment on it, and you're going to be entered into a drawing to win those 4 seats. 17-8, Snowflake trailing Coconino. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint now has 3 locations to serve you: Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Sholo. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Wrapping up the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260 just before you get to the Honda Casino. Kay Solomon, Mike Brogan back with me here as the Lobos trail 17-8. What's the key going into the second half?
Well, key possession coming up here. The Lobos deferred in the first half, and so they'll take the kickoff here. And I think you talked about it a little earlier in the halftime show. I think we'll see a heavy dose of Brenner Green and Jacob Leduc, and just an attempt to put together a very solid drive, move the ball down here, and put some more points on the board, and just keep building confidence with these young players.
Yeah, I think, a lot of times as coaches we talk about the first, football, it's the first 4 minutes coming out of halftime and then the last 4 minutes of the game, and they're so important setting the tone and the outcome of the game. And so as a coach, you want to see your kids come out here, execute. You want to see them be physical. You need to get something positive on the board. If they can get a score here, make this a 1-possession game, I think it lifts everybody's confidence and the excitement, and you get people playing with some passion, and I think that's what they need here for the second half.
This has been the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260 just before you get to the Honda Casino. Got the second half starting after this. Shoulder Force presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
This has been iTalk 106.7's presentation of the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store halftime show.
That's a big old
Snowflake won the toss, elected to defer. Now going to potentially receive the kick here, trailing 17-8. But before we do that, got to take a look at the defensive side. With the Summit Regional Medical Center injury report, Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. Of course, calling the game here from the end zone, we got to see the Lobos walk into the locker room. It looked like Olberg had his right knee iced. Is that like a pitcher? Does that usually mean that he's probably not going to be back out there?
Well, that would usually mean, I think, that especially in knee, that they're probably not going to have him back.
As the kickoff is going to make it just around the pylon. Well, that was nifty. And again, calling it from the end zone, we got to see every bounce of it.
That one came into our living room over here on the corner of the track.
So we'll keep an eye out for Olberg. But in the meantime, the Lobo offense, which last time it was out there for a full possession, was able to go 81 yards and get into the end zone to make it at the time 14-8. It was an awful lot of Green and Leduc, as Green had a 36-yard run on the last play from scrimmage in the first half to get his numbers up to 83 yards on 8 carries. He is standing now to the left of Leduc, who has 10 yards on 7 carries. Bulk of both of those coming on that possession where they were able to get into the end zone were the Lobos. Turning, give Green coming to the right side. Big holes. He gets over the 25 and then spun down to the 27.
Just a nice little stretch handoff there outside that off tackle, and a good hard run by Brenner. Good gain on first down. It sure opens up your playbook a little bit here. You can take a chance if you want.
Second down, call it 2. Snowflake already with its receivers running along scrimmage. You got Smith going wide left with Mason Rabin. Jones on the right side. Initial look left, now looking at Jones as he crosses over, but Leduc is going to be spun down and brought down in the backfield for a loss, and a pretty big one.
Yeah, sat back there looking downfield. They went with what Coach Brogan mentioned, decided to take a little bit of a shot, but unfortunately the protection broke down, and so they're right back where they started, but on third down.
Loss of 7, third time that Leduc has been sacked. As it's third down and 10. Green again off on his left. Trips going in that direction as well. As a low snap had by Leduc. Pressured now as he's going to move up in the pocket. Coming along to the near sideline where he's forced out of bounds short of the yard marker. And I thought I saw a flag come out too. but maybe that was my imagination. Cayado there with the stop.
So this will be interesting. 4th and short yardage. They've kept Leduc on the field for both punts and kind of punted out of an offensive formation. Let's see what they get out of the defense here.
They're going to go with it as he swings a pass to the near side. Caught by Jones as he's over the 35 and tackled down at near the 40. They needed 2 yards, gained 8, and now a flag comes out late.
Well, and I think that's what you were seeing before because they'd punted out of that formation the first 2 times. I think Coconino was kind of caught in the middle of not knowing punt or go for it. They left Jones uncovered over here, and there's a good recognition. Get that ball out over there.
Yeah, Coach, you picked up on that early. Having a quarterback as your punter is a huge advantage because you can keep that punt return team confused on those kind of situations.
And they're now walking off 15 yards for a late hit out of bounds. So the gamble deep in their own territory really pays for the Lobos as they get 8 or 9 yards on the passing play and are now going to move it into the Panthers' territory out to the 46-yard line after the personal foul. Green in the pistol behind Leduc. Give it to him as he moves to the left. Cuts it up at the 45. He's running along the 40 before he gets hit hard by a couple of Panthers. That was including Buckley.
Stretch play to the left that time, but probably a little bit too much stretch to that. He looked like he probably just needed to turn upfield and get 2 or 3 before that contact came.
Yeah, I was thinking he's a much better north-south runner, right? Looks like he's such a strong runner.
Marked down at the 42, just a gain of 4. I thought he was all the way at the 40. Instead, low snap, going to give it to him again, running to the short side of the field. That time he's definitely at the 40, puts his head down and runs over the 35. Yeah, that should be a first down.
That's what you like to see out of him, right? He just gets going north-south and just uses that. Looks like he's got really good balance and good feet and always falling forward. And that's...
Cayado there on the stop. We were watching him as it seemed as if he was getting knocked around while running the football, but now he's taking this abuse from Green trying to tackle him. That was a 7-yard game to get Green into the century mark, 103 yards on 11 carries. As they're going to fake the handoff to him. Leduc comes into the near side. He's at the 30, hesitates, slips through 2 tacklers to get to the 24-ish, but he got hit hard.
Yeah, and I think Jacob, though, I think he likes that. I don't think that's going to bother him that much. Like, I know he took a lick, but he's such a physical runner and a physical player. He bounces right up, probably got a big smile on his face. I can see it.
There with the stop, but Jace Pasalakwa, and forgive me if I'm butchering that wrong, my accent's terrible. He was there holding it up. Is there a flag down?
Late flag came out from the umpire back here, and I don't know if something was said. Mostly Lobo players around him.
There's 2. It looks like there's 2 flags, so it must have been awfully loud.
Holding is whistled first against Snowflake. And that is all. Oh, wait, a sideline warning against Snowflake?
Yep. Well, I think that's a lot of times those sideline warnings are people getting in the way of the side judge. I think that was something that must have been being said out onto the field because that flag, like I said, was very late, and it was from Mr. Gillespie, the umpire out in the middle of the field.
Now, the scoreboard is mayhem right now. It was 3rd and 19. Now it's 1st and 10. Is that correct? 1st and 19. There we go. As Leduc this time drops back. All sorts of pressure, and he can't run out of it as he's sacked back in Snowflake territory at the 43-yard line.
And again, just a good rush there from the Coconino defensive line, and certainly not giving Leduc much time to throw the football.
Young offensive line here, and pass protection is one of those things that you got to take a lot of fine-tuning as the season goes on.
4th time that Leduc has been sacked. That one's a 10-yard loss. Brings his net down to just 1 yard on 10 carries. 2nd down, and they're calling it 29. Oof. And Snowflake going to use a timeout. In facing second and a lot. 8:20 to go, 17-8. They trail the Lobos. It's Show Low Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down.
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Show Low, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Yeah.
Couple of scores here for you, especially yesterday. Micah Mountain beat Post and Butte. I think it was 42-6 or something in that neighborhood.
Close to that, yeah.
Scores reported at halftime include Blue Ridge and Safford tied at 14. Payson leading Page 30-6. Here after the timeout, 3rd and 29. Send this one over to Jones, who catches that in traffic, runs over the 50 to the 45 and brought down at the 40. They needed 29 yards on second down, and I think they got more than 20 of them back. Quiros there with the catch. That was in all sorts of traffic, that delivery and reception.
It really was. The ball's up high, and great good catch by Jones, but he really shouldn't have had any yards after that catch. There were 4 guys right around him there, and I think they all thought the other guy had him.
They're saying that's 3rd and 17, and that passing play only went for 12 yards. Is now coming along the near sideline, again trying to find Jones as it was taking him a little too far out of bounds. Now the Lobos went for it on 4th down and short, deep in their own territory. Right now, the scoreboard says 3rd and 17. It looks like they are definitely on the wrong side of the sticks, though. That is 17-ish. So 4th and 17 from the Coconino 42. What do you do?
It's a tough drive to give up on. You want the success in this first drive, but not a great spot for 4th down territory here.
Very short field. Leduc gets somebody into the neutral zone, so it makes it 4th down and 12-ish.
I think Leduc had taken a step or two back, too. I think he was going to punt that or cut that away.
There's nobody back to receive this, at least that I can recognize. So jumping into neutral zone seems...
22 went back.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's back at the 10 or in that.
It looks like Leduc right now pleading with his coaches to let him go for this at the 38. I mean, if he punted into the end zone, you only wind up gaining a few yards, but the Lobos in the last 2 defensive possessions have had a hard time slowing Coconino. Right now trailing 17-8 with 7:34 to go in the 3rd.
Well, I think the math would probably tell you to go for it because the defensive probability of a stop probably isn't much different. But
going to go for it, drop back, look over to the far side where it's going to be brought down inside the 5. Smith there with the reception. 35 yards on the pitch and catch. And the drive continues for Snowflake.
Well, good for Jacob if he talked Coach into going for that. He's going to look like a genius on this now. But I agree with Coach Solomon. You want something so positive out of that first drive, and it started out great, and it's hard to give up on a drive like that. So it probably didn't take much to talk him into going for it. But
1st and goal as lead blocking for Leduc. Green allows him to dive into the end zone. Snowflake converts a 4th down and short, deep in its own territory. 4th down and long, relatively deep in Coconino's territory. Now trailing 17-14. And the Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown now provides potentially another question. Do you go for 2?
1 point puts it within 2, and then then you can win it with a field goal. So I think I'd probably kick here.
Now, Leduc had that first pass for Jones coming to the right sideline that just a little bit took him out of bounds. That one fading just enough to kind of make that one rough, but he delivered it to Smith going to his left side as they are going to kick the extra point with Smith, who hauled that in double coverage, able to get that snap down, and it's up and good. The junior quarterback there showing awful large steps of growth. on those two passing plays to make it now 17-15 as Team Steel trails with 7:20 to go in the third. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Are almost negligible.
The the Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. Pay the lowest tuition in the state. Pursue bachelor's degrees in both education and business. As needing to make sure the coverage is there. This one hangs up and is fielded at the 5. Is that Callado again? This time forced to move to the far sideline before he's brought down at the 30. Again, a little bit of extracurriculars happening out there. A quick score for you at halftime. Eastmark leading Chrisman just 9-6.
Well, it looks like Sholo and Valley Christian are 0-0 with about 3 minutes to go in the third.
We'll try to keep an eye on as much of that as possible, as this has become a tight one here. Still lots of time with 7:14 to go, but the way that the teams are exchanging pleasantries after a lot of these plays, seems as if they're starting to get a little appreciation for the urgency here. More on that in just a moment. Is back out and from the shotgun, Utley keeps this one, looking for a little bit of help at finding Little, still able to do a little bit, primarily with only his own footwork to credit, gains 5. But last year, Snowflake did everything that it needed to try to put itself in a position to be in an advantageous spot going into state, and still couldn't get the number that it was looking for, and wound up having to play that tough game at ACP. With that now in the memory, does that make this game all the more important, thinking about what could happen as far as the seeding goes this year? As here's a shotgun snap, handoff Buckley, shifts his weight going to the left as he falls toward the 40. Coach Solomon, what say you about that?
You know, I mean, you look at the Lobos schedule this year, and already I see kind of a surprise. Catalina Foothills got a win last night that I wouldn't have expected them to. Didn't really. So you just never know this early how your opponent's your strength of schedule is going to work out. But you know, like you said, we knew that last year. We absolutely felt like we had to win 10 games to give ourselves the best chance we could, and we still couldn't hold a top 2 spot in the rankings. So, and that came down to that was a big part of that loss in that semifinal game.
Third down and short, crowding the line of scrimmage. Late pitch there is going to be forced off to Buckley, who loses the football, but falling on that one might have been Utley, but they continue to try to set up these options and short pitches, and the Lobos continue to swarm.
Yeah, really surprised at that play call, just how well Snowflake's defended that option, and it's early in the season, and I'm sure they're not executing it at the level they want to. It looks like there's a little bit, the spacing, for a basketball term, I guess, between the quarterback and the running back is not that great, and I think that's why they're really struggling. And Snowflake is defending it really well, playing really good assignment football.
Jackson Merrill dislodged. And now the snap is fumbled. Going to pick this one up and try to run with it. Taking it to the 30 and then brought down at the line of scrimmage, as it'll work as a turnover eventually. Merrill there again with the stop, is trying to make something out of nothing, was Ethan Jeffs, but it got mighty quiet over there on the Panthers side.
Well, you talk about the, things getting a little, I don't know if chippy's the right word, but pleasantries being exchanged, and I'm sure the Panthers can feel that momentum shift. The Lobos able to finish that first drive, and now a defensive stand, and so important drive here again for the Lobos.
You got 2 defenses right now thinking a lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda. As we talked about, Coconino getting 3 points in its final possession because of a couple of penalties on Snowflake. Panthers couldn't stop Snowflake twice on 4th down. Now as Green's going to get the call, but he stood up. No, I spoke too soon, as he was able to fight his way inside the 35 and gain 4.
talk about being a north-south runner and keeping those feet moving. You know, he ran into a wall there in front of him, but just stayed patient, kept his feet moving, and was able to keep that going.
Guys, a Lobo looks like he's cramping up. This is the exact opposite of the climate in the dome.
He's laying face down.
Is that might be Willis?
I think he's looking at a knee possibly, though.
Initially, he was face down, and it looked like they were addressing the hamstring, but yes.
Is that Willis or is that Smith?
I thought I saw a 0. This is a Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury situation. First thing we're trying to diagnose is who is the injured Lobo. If it is Smith, that's losing not just a receiver, but somebody who's been asked to do an awful lot in the return game. It is Willis, though.
I thought he had a neck brace on earlier in the game, but it may just be that looks like maybe he's got a headband around his neck.
Well, he's walking off on his own power, but doesn't seem entirely confident in that left leg. Second down and 6 with 5 minutes and 3 seconds to go. 17-15. Coconino holding on to a lead, but the Lobos already threatening the red zone. Going to bring LeDuc and Green. Been the ball carrier every play as he stands behind LeDuc in the pistol formation. Short drop for LeDuc, looking to the near side where he's trying to get this one to Smith. Nearly brought it down with one hand, but pushed out of bounds as he was trying to haul it in, as there was Pasalacqua. Taking a look at the replay, is that, again, a tough haul there for Smith, but, dude, he almost had it.
Yeah, if he could have got his second hand up, he may have got that, but he did a really good job kind of holding the defender off while making a play on the ball, and really difficult, play to make, but just about came down with that.
Third down and 6, turn and give. Green, no fake. Now keep LeDuc running to the left side, cuts it up over the 30, still on his feet at the 25, falls forward toward the 23, and that should be enough for a first down. Callado there with the stop.
And it's just amazing. He got out on the edge there, and it looks like they had him wrapped up short of the first down, but he just doesn't go down. Gets turned backwards and still falls forward, and just finishes that run really well.
4:35 to go, 17-15. Snowflake scoring. What you got, Coach?
Nothing. Go ahead. I'll wait. Sorry.
Pistol formation again. Green with 3 receivers going to the right, single man on the left. Turn and give Green. He has to cut it upfield immediately, but gets over the 25-20, still on his feet at the 15, and now inside the 10.
Well, I think it's probably not too early or too late to go ahead and, Brenner obviously is the younger brother of Taryn, and you're seeing they're almost carbon copies of each other running the ball. Just they don't go down easy. A lot of strength, and they're just going to carry tacklers with them until they're taken to the ground.
First and goal, 4 minutes to go here in the third. Snowflake looking for its first lead. 3 receivers again with 2 going out wide left. As it'll again be Green. He's met in the backfield but stays on his feet, gets to the 5.
Well, you feel like, older brother Green to Lewis to Turley to younger brother Green, it feels like they're all very, very similar, at least in how hard they run, forward leans, physical runners, and I think it really serves them well, and it's been a kind of the hallmark of the Snowflake offense for 6-8 years now.
Second and goal from the 5. Receivers again on either side with Green in the pistol. He's going to serve as the lead blocker, but now blowing that one up is Quiroz, sending now LeDuc circling deep into the backfield. Now will eventually be brought down by 3 others. No, pitches it late. Now they'll say he's down. I think his forward progress had probably stopped. Fans booing, but I think that might be the right call. Taking a look at our replay here, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, he was stood up there by 3 players. I think that's the right call.
Probably so, but they're letting the play go on, so Again, it just depends on which side of the field you're standing on, how you feel about a call like that.
5th, Jacob Leduc's sack brings his net yardage into negative territory as now a flag comes out because of a delay of game.
Gotta be.
Boy, that's a quick
problem with the clock.
Since we're talking about it, the Lobos had that 36-yard run from Green to get into Coconino territory and no time left, in large part because of clocksmanship errors that happened primarily after the kickoff was returned to start the ball game for a touchdown. And there's been an awful lot of curiosity that's been happening there as there's a short drop from Leduc looking over the middle where he's got a man caught. Was that Willis?
I think that's number 2. No.
I think that was Willis who's down. He's down there again. He's going to get a lot of the yards lost back. That is Willis, but he's now rolling again from the front to the back, and they are, this seems like it's more of a cramp.
I sure hope so.
Nice delivery again there from Leduc to get Willis on 1st and goal from what I believe was the 27. This time they're going to the right leg. So last time they were addressing the left leg. Summit Regional Medical Center injury report. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back into the game. That's got to be some good news. If they were worried about the left leg on the previous time he was down, now they're worried about the right leg.
You saw him try to plant there on that left leg, and it slipped out. I was worried he might hyperextended that knee a little bit, but this is looks like a cramp in that right leg.
That was a 15-yard gain on the pass play. Leduc now 6 for 9 for 81 yards. Second time that he's connected with Willis. He has 25 of those yards. Now they have his leg pressed into the turf. This almost certainly is a kicking situation on 4th and goal from the 10. But I always ask, as I'm surrounded by experts, am I oversimplifying here?
It's perspective, I guess. I'm looking, thinking, well, there's not a whole lot of risk here because if you don't score, you'll pin them inside the 10, and your defense is playing well. But I might be more of a risk taker than most, I guess. So,
yeah, tough decision. Tough decision. If I'm wearing Coach Reddick's headset tonight, I've got different coaches telling me different things. I'm kind of glad I'm wearing this headset tonight.
And I guess probably a lot of it does come down to how much you trust your young kicker, right?
It does.
Smith's going to hold Norton out there to attempt a 25-yard field goal. The snap is down, the kick is away, and it is no good. Wide left.
Must have just been left.
So Leduc's effort to try to extend a play ultimately frustrates a Lobo situation that had Snowflake looking at 1st and goal from the 7. 2nd and goal from the 5, and he was trying to extend. That was actually wide right.
And this is one of those unique high school circumstances where a missed field goal inside the 10, the ball actually is going to come out to the 20.
Yeah, which I was thinking about that when you mentioned that earlier. It comes out to the 20, so you actually give up a little bit of ground to make that attempt. But I still like the call. The other side of the coin is you do have a young kicker who you do need to give opportunities to, and something like that will help, build his confidence. He didn't miss that by far.
Olberg is out there. He's up on the right side of the line. Defensive line, as here's Utley dropping back, looking to the left side. He's got it picked off, taken away by Jones as he's got it at the 30, the 20, and then forced out of bounds at the 15.
Yeah, that looked like that was I don't know if I would say that necessarily is a pre-snap read, but I think he got locked in on that tight end coming across the middle, and that was probably the first option. He never got off it, and he missed the safety. That Jones just made a really great break on the football and jumped that route really well.
Jones nearly brought in that pass on 3rd and long that just took him a little bit too far out of bounds. That was in double coverage. That time Again, just reading the eyes as he's going to set it up inside the red zone at the 15, 1st and 10. The Lobo offense right back out there. Minute and 54 seconds left. They're still trailing 17-15 as the give goes Green, running along to the near side, turns it at the 10. He's at the 5. He's at the pylon. He's in the end zone. Comfort Fit Denture touchdown. Snowflake has its first lead.
And I don't think he was ever touched on that run. Again, that little stretch handoff again, and they found something on that right side. I don't know if it's a numbers thing, Coach, or what they're seeing, but man, they're getting some. They've got some open lanes to run through.
Yeah, definitely able to seal that edge, and had to get him quite a ways outside, but Green's showing some speed there too. He just turned on the jets and got around that corner and into the end zone.
Here's a stat. Snowflake has converted 2 fourth downs in the third quarter. Coconino has run 4 plays. As the extra point this time upped and banged through. 22-17, the Lobos take the lead with 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the third. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
I mean, like it's hard to.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. You pay the lowest tuition in the state. It's your hometown school that offers bachelor's degrees in education and business. Norton in to kick it away as this one angling and short, fumbled, brought back up, and then spilled. Reagan, beg your pardon.
Well, and old Uncle Mo has certainly jumped on over to the Snowflake sideline. It feels like everything is going Snowflake's way, and all the momentum's on their side.
You know, the first game jitters and guys coming out a little bit tentative, and we're definitely, again, seeing that confidence just grow play by play here for this young Lobo group.
Long field in front of the Panthers. Coconino now trailing with the football, 22-17. Remember, took the opening kick back, have led throughout. Minute and 43 seconds left in the third. As they got a couple of receivers off to the left. Utley, hands off. Not a lot of room there as Callado is going to be stopped after he gained 1.
It's a good job by Hayden Nichols getting off that block, and again, and anything that's kind of slow developing against Snowflake's defense is just, it's going to be hard to have any success. Those linebackers just run so well.
2nd down and 9. This feels like a big possession here for Coconino. Again, trying to spread things out a little bit with 3 receivers, 2 coming to the left. Callado the back as Utley drops back, looking to the right side. Now a flag comes out in the vicinity of the hold. Pump fake to get to the 25. He's over the 30 and then brought down at the 31. He's going to be short of the yard marker after Merrill brought him down, but this seems as if it's almost certainly coming back. Blue Ridge has taken a 22-14 lead in the third quarter at Safford. Payson still leading Page 37-14. Valley Christian just scored in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes to play. Is that a 7-0 lead?
It's 6 or 7, yeah, whatever the extra point is, but that's the first score of the game.
That's after Sholo had a big win at Florence.
Sholo did last week.
Yeah, last week.
Round Valley team that we broadcast last week had a big win down there last night against Florence.
Yeah, like 49-13 or something.
Yes. Yeah. Without Mr. Cochran on the field. He didn't play. He didn't dress out.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get the story behind it, but that was without, obviously, the player that we felt like, you know, carried him a lot in that Seton game.
I want the story behind this. Chrisman 14, Eastmark 9 in the third quarter.
Must have a good recruiting class coming into Chrisman this year.
All right. 2nd and 19. Again, looking to pass. Utley with time as he moves around in the pocket. Now slings one sidearm over at the 30. And it's incomplete. Nobody was there.
Have a receiver. I don't know. guess he's out of the pocket technically. Probably they'll give him credit.
I wish they'd change that rule to outside the hashes or something a little more definitive, right, than the tackles in the pocket. It makes it a little too arbitrary for me. But
continuing to look at the scoreboard, Santan Charter is leading Seton Catholic 9-6 in the third quarter.
I think you're ready here, Coach. This is a big play for Mingus. Oh boy,
Coconino.
I guess I'm 2 weeks ahead, but yeah, for Coconino here, I think Snowflake, like we said, did more conversions on fourth than they have first downs this quarter. They just certainly don't want to give the ball back.
3rd and 19. Utley with a man in the backfield standing behind him in the pistol formation. They're going to give it to Cayado as he goes through over the right side. Big holes. He goes over the 30. That's a gain of 17 and might make it 4th and short.
Yeah, just a little too aggressive on the inside there and overran. They were all expecting a pass play and kind of gave up some of that gap integrity.
4th, and they're calling it 1 as the clock hits zeros. 22-17, Snowflake leading going into the 4th quarter with a decision here for the Panthers. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
Going for this.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers, and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Getting ready for the 4th quarter, 22-17. Snowflake has fought and taken the lead. Another couple of scores of interest. ALA West Foothills leads Westview 45-0. Walden Grove leads Sarita 36-10. Back at this one, it's 4th and 1 after the Lobos caught a little unawares. Cayado gained 18 on 3rd and 19. It's long 1, maybe closer to 2, and it doesn't look as if there's a punting unit out there.
Snowflake's in that 5-man front.
I think we're going to see Utley go under center here. Maybe they look at a quarterback sneak or straight ahead power.
Like you said,
it might not be closer to 4th and 2. It might be closer to 4th and inches.
I think you're right, about 6 inches maybe.
Like you said, they may just be trying to draw them off sides as well.
They're going for it, turn and give. Buckley's met at the line of scrimmage. This is all going to come down to the spot. The Panthers front thinks that they got it. I don't know.
It'll be left leg versus right leg spot here.
Martin was there. No, Marine, I beg your pardon.
The kids on both sides pointing each way. You got the official
they're going to turn it and give it to the Lobos. Oh, what a stop.
Without a measurement.
And he's still looking.
Coach Solomon, you've been talking off air about how you've seen Snowflake continue to improve. That just dive right up the middle that Buckley had so much success with in the second quarter. There's absolutely nothing there.
Yeah, situationally though, you're fourth and very short, and you pretty much knew that was coming. I was a little surprised they didn't go with a little bit of a harder count, maybe try to just get a free one off the Lobos off defensive line, but we'll take it.
Lobos looking to ice here as they're going to give to Green again, try to stretch it out on the right side, gets over the 30 and then rumbles out of bounds at the 26, gain of 7. Snowflake right now leading 5, even just getting a field goal and making this a lengthy one-possession lead feels like it would go an awful long way to putting it in the deep freeze.
And that little stretch handoff, I'm kind of expecting a bootleg coming off of that here. With Leduc, or maybe a fake and a keep coming off the backside. I think they probably got that set up.
11:25 to go, 22-17. The Lobos lead and are now threatening the red zone after getting the 4th down stop. Handoff goes Green, met in the backfield and brought down by Katamak.
A little bit more of a straight ahead look on that, and pound for pound, this is Coconino's defensive front has the size advantage there for sure.
Going to actually say that he lost a yard there. 3rd down and 3. know it's a big moment, but I got another score. Arcadia 30 at Bradshaw Mountain 8. That feels a little surprising.
Arcadia is a region opponent this year for the Lobos. So.
From the pistol, turn, Leduc wants to keep. Green offering a lead blocker as he hesitates along the 25 and gets tackled forward. Again, the Snowflake sideline is confident in the spot. He needed 3 yards. I think he got 5.
Yeah, and a good patient run here by Jacob. You can see he got out to the edge a little bit, and there was pretty good contain coming from that linebacker spot or the safety. But he held up just a minute and allowed Green to get there and make that block that gave him just enough room, I think, to challenge for that first down. But it doesn't look like
they got him. The previous yard marker, according to the scoreboard, which only God knows, 27. It looks like it's spotted at the 24. So that would be three yards on the button, but it looks like he's just a little bit short.
Well, these officials seem to like to eyeball everything. No measurements tonight, I guess.
10 minutes, 25 seconds. Now it's the Lobos trying to convert on 4th and short. Green, the single back with Duke going under center. He's going to keep it, charge forward, gains 3. Because of the 5 sacks, that just gets him now back at 0 yards gained rushing. But man, he's made a huge impact with his feet.
And you expect him to all season long. That's going to be one of his strengths. One thing we really haven't gotten a good look at yet is he's just got some great straight ahead speed too. I expect at some point in time we're going to see that as well.
Well, he is the Division III state 100-meter champion.
Division 3 or 4, yeah.
3 or 4, whatever the division is. Yeah.
Green again trying to go left to right, gets stood up, and a flag comes out late. Herrera was there with the stop. And I don't know what I saw. Do you guys see anything?
I don't know. Nine's Jeff's for Coconino's sure complaining about being held, but
well, it worked.
Yeah.
Got the call.
Whether he was or not, I don't know. It's one thing that's definitely changed in the year. Football is kids now can play and officiate at the same time, and we were not able to do that back when I played. But
second down and 20. No, first and 20. 9:43 to go. Leduc fakes the handoff. Green runs to the right side. Now wants to drop it off, but instead he's going to be sacked for the 6th time. Back at the 36-yard line, a loss of 5. Lucero there with the sixth sack on Jacob Leduc.
Yeah, Jacob tried to pull up there and give a little pump fake, hoping to slow that down, but Lucero was like a laser-guided missile there. He was not gonna give him a chance to get away.
So holding a sack, it was looking like it was going to be a relatively simple field goal attempt to make it a full 8-point lead for Snowflake, but now really in the weeds. 2nd and 22. Ball is on the 33. Leduc from the gun. Now hold on a minute. Play clock.
Well,
and it is a delay of game.
And this young back judge, he's waiting to make that call. He runs into that thing, throwing his flag. He's a little too excited, I think. But you got to adapt, right? That's been the 3rd or 4th delay of game, on both sides. Probably got to be a little more aware of that.
So now 2nd down and 27. Leduc dropping back short, coming toward the near sideline into double coverage. Diving at that one is a couple, especially Cayado.
Got a flag here? Or is that
3rd down and 27. I think that was just debris. Uh-oh.
No, there is a flag.
Oh, there is. Yes, there is on the 25-ish.
Well, and
there's a seated Lobo at the same spot.
Christian Smith, I think, doing his job as the officials, pointing that it's going to go our way. So we'll see. We'll see how good, if he's as good as Jeff's is for Coconino with that.
Coconino with Cayado now getting stretched out. Another Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury reported. Has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game.
And it looks like, and so it looked like they were running a little bit of a rub route there, and I think Smith started on the outside and ran an in-breaking route, and it was a defensive holding call.
They called it?
The defensive holding, yeah. And so they were just running that kind of that tandem route. Rabin came outside, and I think Smith got grabbed.
Yep. So I think they'll get 10 yards out of that, but they're still well behind the chains here. Second and 30 goes to second and 20 here, I believe.
Not often you get a holding call and doesn't you stay behind the chains. But I think that brings a field goal much more into potential here. It certainly, you got some different ideas now rather than second and 25 from the 40.
Another factor, Kayato's got to come off the field after he was stretched out. Don't see who's out there to replace him, but the Lobos have 3 receivers bunched up here well off the line to the left. Another man is Jones off to the right. LeDuc from the shotgun on 2nd and 17. Handed off on the delay to Green. He goes to the right side. He's over the 20. Still on his feet at the 15 and then rumbles down to the 11. He needed 17, and I think he got it. There is a flag down, though.
That's certainly in the area of holding.
Well, if it were, it wasn't really close to the play, and maybe even after he'd already gone by him. Snowflake looks as if it's conceding. Holding is called. So the flag was at the 27, I think.
Well, and you wonder early in the season, you're starting to adrenaline's starting to flow a little bit. Fourth quarter, good competitive game. You wonder if kids are just trying to do a little too much and kind of lead you to make a mistake here and there.
Clock running at 8:15. 22-17. The Lobos have scored all of the points here in the second half.
We're already down to 10 on the play clock.
Hurrying to the line now, facing 2nd and 25. LeDuc, shotgun snap. Pump fake, flirting with another sack, tripped up, and is going to be down at the 47, seventh time he was sacked. And a loss of 10.
Yeah, again, that pass protection seems like it should be pretty simple, but for a young offensive line, they are struggling a little bit in that area, and we'll see some improvement there as time goes on.
3rd down and 38. You got to dig into the 3rd and 38 call. As LeDuc from the gun dropped back, looked like he wanted to set up a screen, but it looks like they were trying to let him run, or maybe it's a busted play, but he's going to be sacked for the 8th time back into Snowflake territory. Loss of 7.
You got to give Coconino defense credit. They have spied him well all night long and haven't allowed him to do a whole lot to hurt them with any big plays. So that's definitely part of their game plan coming in, and you're seeing that be effective for the Coconino
It looked like
Panthers.
the Coconino front got in there really easily. That's why I suspected screen. Did I see that wrong?
Almost looked like maybe they were running a little bit of a delay or a draw with Jacob on that. Almost looked like he was about ready to take off.
Another short snap here as he's got the punt away. It's high and it's hanging at the 10, bounces at the 5, and then takes a Snowflake roll laterally toward the sideline. Long field here for Coconino, which is trailing 22-17 with 6 minutes and 15 seconds to work with it. I believe the Panthers only have 1 first down in the second half.
Been a very dominant defensive performance by the Lobo defense this second half. Yeah, you gotta like the growth that you've seen from those guys, this defensive front and the secondary with the interception by Gian Jones and Mason Rabin flying around and hitting people, and it's showing a lot of good things here.
Going to actually have this spotted at the 4. So 96 yards for a Panthers offense, which has not been able to really find a rhythm here in the second. 22-17, Coconino trails. From the end zone, Utley in the shotgun. Got Kayato on his left, gets the call, runs right up the middle at the 5, gets into another tackle at the 10, still on his feet over the 20, and finally brought down at the 27. Rabin stopped it, but a huge play deep in their own territory to get an awful lot of separation away from the end zone.
Yeah, just nice, just a dive play. They created a little seam, and he hit that hole really hard, really quick, and got to that second level.
He was recently stretched out and had to come off the field on the defensive side. He's been making big impacts, special teams, running back, defensive back, and now he's standing off on the right side as a high snap is brought down. They're again going to give it to him, again try to go up the middle, but he's going to be bent backwards after a gain of 2.
Well, just that little bit of high and that bobble on that snap just kind of messes that timing up and slows him down a half step, and Snowflake's able to make a play in there.
Now another Coconino player is down, Connor Reed. We've seen lots of cramping. This time Reed hopping up fast. Snowflake has watched as Coulter Willis is his first left leg, then his right leg. Gallardo, who just had that big run, was stretched out. And now Reed hopping up as when the offense is running for Coconino, it's all pretty much happening with the 5 dudes along the line. So now how do they do? Well, missing one of them as Utley steps toward the line of scrimmage from the shotgun. Going to again set up the option. No, fakes it, throws it over the top where it's caught at the 45 and brought down. Nice haul there from Aceval as he was stopped by Willis. Again, Snowflake looked like it was biting on that option, and it was all just a big setup.
Yeah, even watching the offensive line kind of showed a run look. They instead of dropping into a pass set, they step forward, and it gives those linebackers and everybody a run read, and makes it tough to defend a quick pass like that.
They have just told Aceval that he needs to leave the playing surface. I don't know if he's bleeding or what might be going on.
I'm thinking that's probably blood.
Well, they picked up about 8 seconds on the play clock. They were going to be in trouble getting that play off and gotten under 15.
4:45 to go. Panthers are flirting with midfield. This drive started on their own 4. They had a 22-yard run from Gallardo and then a 15-yard pass. He was able to get most of it. I think that was actually a 27-yard run from Gallardo. As right now he is not in the backfield. That's Buckley from the shotgun. Utley fakes the handoff, is going to air this one out down the near sideline. Had a little bit of separation, but the pass falls incomplete as it was intended for Jake Hanley. Christian Smith was there in coverage.
Lucky break for the Lobos there. They caught Christian Smith kind of looking in the backfield a little bit on that. The receiver had a step on him.
4 minutes and 20 seconds left. Clock stopped. 22-17 Snowflake with the lead. Seemingly in full control, but a series of sacks on the last possession thwarted any attempt to get points on the board. And now 2 big plays have Coconino thinking that 5 points might be able to get over the hump here. As there's another fake to Buckley, come to the near side. Hanley with the catch, go over midfield and into Snowflake territory. Pushed out of bounds at the 45, very close to a first down. Smith, don't think he got to him in time.
A little interesting, though. They've turned to throwing the football here late in the game. I don't know if that's with Gallardo going out of the game, or if that's just they see something they like on that. But they certainly are having some success throwing that ball.
Well, the first one came after a faked option. That time, just play action. As now set it up 1st and 10 after it was enough for a first down. Out of bounds, stopping the clock at 4:14. 22-17, the Lobos lead. This time straight. Give to Buckley right up the middle. Goes over the 40 and tripped up at the 37, maybe the 38. King there with the stop, but not before a gain of 8.
Dangerous moments here for the Lobos right now. This defense needs to get back on their feet here. Coconino's finding some ways to exploit some things, like you said, throwing the ball, and then Buckley is a solid running back.
Correction, that was just a gain of 6, but 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. Coconino on the move as Gallardo is back, gets the call, goes up the middle, 35, and tackled forward to the 30. He's got enough for another first down after a gain of 9. The Panthers thought that there should be a personal foul thrown after the tackle by Nichols.
Well, it sure seems like they found something in that guard-to-guard spot in there. They've had some success running that ball, basically right up the middle.
Timeout taken by Snowflake after the drive started on the 4. It's advanced all the way to the Lobo 31. It's Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off. Makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
Offensive lineman all day.
3:29 left. Snowflake uses a timeout and will now only have one remaining. Coconino has all three according to the scoreboard. Trailing 5. Drive started on their own 4, but the Panthers have been able to gash the Lobos both on the ground and through the air. Cayado standing on the right side. Utley will turn and give, running from the right to the left, looking for a little bit of help as he's strung out and then gets decked.
There's a good hold. There's
now,
a hold, too.
Is that a hold or is that a helmet to helmet? Taking a look at there's the jersey right there.
Guy's going down awkwardly on the tackle. You hope everybody's all right.
There is, I've got a cramping Lobo.
I don't know. Last week we thought it was the heat causing the cramps, and it's certainly not warm tonight compared to last week. But we seem to be running into the same cramping problem.
Now, have they called the foul? Now is I guess the question.
I think that's Gian Jones down with the cramp.
Just another really good play there by Jackson Merrill. He got off that block and held that edge. Looked like the lineman had him, the offensive lineman had him locked up, but he did a great job fighting through that block and pushing the quarterback out, making him run more sideline to sideline, allowing the others.
Now, Snowflake's going to have to go play without Gian Jones. He had the interception already with a hobbled, Coulter Willis. So the Lobo secondary with the Panthers passing game kind of finding its strength. Though there's Willis out there. He's seemingly little worse for the wear. 10-yard holding flag moves the Panthers back to the 39, make it 1st and 20. 3:21 left, 5-point Snowflake lead. 3 receivers with 2 coming to the near side. Short drop, Utley now moves the pocket to the left, starts directing traffic at the sideline, forced out of bounds. Boy, you see an awfully quick thumb on the scoreboard now, don't you?
Well, if you want to add a little bit more to that, all of a sudden this play clock's working now that we're not driving into it either. But just saying.
Home cooking.
They saw that Gian had to take that play off, and sure enough, they're targeting that side over there.
That actually was a loss all the way back to the 40, just a 1-yard loss, I should say, all the way back. But second down now, they're calling it 19. Cayado is in the backfield. Pocket this time moving to the right side. Pressured as Utley hesitates and just has to throw this one.
That's got to be a grounding call,
right?
I
think he got it back to the line of scrimmage. Of course, I don't know what the rules are in high school, college, NFL, or whatever, but
got to get it out of bounds too, I believe.
And he just threw that thing straight in the ground. He might have got it. He might have got it to the line of scrimmage, but there certainly isn't a receiver in that area.
Since the timeout here, Lobos have forced a hold, sacked, and then forced a thrown away pass. 3rd down and 19, but they almost certainly are going to have to get 2 more stops here.
Well, again, it's so much easier from here, but rolling that quarterback out and letting the Snowflake defensive speed play into it, they're just not going to have much success trying to play sideline to sideline with the Snowflake defense.
Oh, and now the play clock.
Telling you, that guy's on it.
Well, it's working both ways.
That is true.
I guess we better stop complaining.
No, I'm not going to do that. Moving back another 5 yards, so 3rd down and 24. We can't see exactly where the sticks are saying they need to get it to, but according to the scoreboard, it's basically the 20. They do have 2 plays to do it as Utley drops back, looking right, now pressured, comes up in the pocket, throws this one, caught, going to get down to the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown. Wait a minute, was he not down?
It'd be interesting,
What?
Be interesting to see if his knee was down.
That, as it stands,
he's
is
across
a
the line of scrimmage.
touchdown. There is a flag down, and there is at least one unhappy Panther.
I think they're saying that the way the referee or the umpire came in is I think they're saying he was across the line of scrimmage.
Which is a
when he
loss
threw
of
that.
down.
Yeah, and it should be 5 yards and a loss of down. I thought his knee may have been down.
I thought he was down, but it was an illegal forward pass, so it doesn't matter if he was down or not. Utley trying to make a play. No, he wasn't down.
That's a heck of a play, though, by that young man.
Really was. You got to give him credit for keeping his eyes downfield and finding a receiver that is also not quitting on the play.
Well, and not to – it's such a hard call, especially for the umpire to make, because my understanding of that rule is that the whole body has to be across the line of scrimmage as well, not just the football, not just the front leg, not just the arm. But you can have your full body ahead of the line of scrimmage as long as your back foot's behind it. It's still a legal pass. So to make that call from the middle of the field without having that, sideline to sideline view is a little tough. I would certainly be upset if I was on the Coconino sideline.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
They're calling the Lobos coaches out.
I don't know how you overturn it, though.
Jeffs was working the huddle. And he's already had some successes, as we pointed out. So if they decide to pick that up, does the touchdown then stand?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you decline the penalty.
Reddick doesn't look pleased. He's shaking his head as he's walking back to the sideline. We still don't have a signal.
Waving
they're pulling the flag up. It's going to be a touchdown.
Wow.
I don't know how you can confer without video evidence to determine whether or not he was beyond the line of scrimmage. That, we don't have a good angle there. It looks like Coconino's going to be going for 2. We're trying to get another replay. All right, so the line of scrimmage is the 45. You make the call.
And again, that goes back to what Coach Brogan was saying, the way you interpret that rule, but they don't have the benefit of replay out there on the field. So,
well, and from my looking at that, it did look like that back leg was behind the 45, but whether the ball was at the 45 or just behind it at the throw,
45-yard touchdown between Utley and Asabal.
And
not much behind it.
Yeah, and as much as I don't, appreciate the call, I will have to say that the line judge on the Coconino sideline had the best vantage point of it. He had the best view of it. He probably is the one who should have made the decision. But you certainly would like to have seen them come together before they made the call of a forward pass and then changed it. They should have conferred prior to, and I think that would have saved a lot of heartache from everybody.
Got it lined up on the far hash. The hot hand now with Utley and Caiado in the backfield, going to come to the near side where it's deflected and incomplete. So the Lobos could technically now play for the win with a field goal. 2:56 left. A big kickoff here coming up on the other end of this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint now has 3 locations to serve you: Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Sholo. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. Pay the lowest tuition in the state. It's your hometown college that offers bachelor's degrees in education and business. Lobos looking for a big return, as their return men have had cramping issues. Instead, that's just going to be belted through the end zone. They're going to have to go with a really long field. Snowflake has allowed 8 sacks that have forced Leduc into a net negative 23-yard situation. And at the time, when it seemed as if they had all the momentum, it was kind of like, gee, what an iffy number. But that's now turned into arguably the biggest element of the ball game when the Lobos were in the red zone and then winding up back in Coconino territory on their most recent possession and having to punt it away. Got pistol formation. Turn and give Green as he goes to the 20 before he's stood up by a couple of tacklers, including Buckley.
Yeah, and I think your tendency here is to want to throw the ball just because of time and the score, but they've had such success. I'd like to see them hustle the line, probably run that stretch handoff a little bit.
Just a gain of 1. As they're going with the same formation, 3 receivers out wide to the right, Jones, the lone man on the left. Low snap had by Leduc. This time he is going to throw it. Goes down the far sideline. All sorts of contact, but coming back and catching it at the 40 and then brought down out of bounds. Late hit as well, and there's the flag.
Yeah, that back judge, he was on that thing the whole time, and I got to give him credit. I think that flag went 20, 25 foot up in the air.
Well, you see it right there when they follow through, tackling well out of bounds. So it is currently a 24-yard gain on the pass, which gets Leduc into triple figures. Pass was that by Willis?
Christian Smith. Really good adjustment on the ball for Christian, coming back to get that. Didn't give up on that. He didn't have a clear look at it, but he still made a catch.
Right next to us, McCoy Norton is getting loose as the ball's on the 40. 2:20 to go. Snowflake trailing 23-22. Going to keep this one with Leduc, tackled by Jeffs by the shoe top.
And a holding flag now.
Flag is down at the line of scrimmage. And look like they're getting ready to mark it off against Snowflake. They're currently marking it off against Snowflake before it's been signaled.
Holding.
So move it back to midfield, 2:20, first and 20.
Well, on first game of the year, you really don't like all these flags in the fourth quarter, but I think fatigue's starting to set in. Again, the intensity's picked up, urgency.
Clock now running. Lobos down 1. Had a big play and then a 15-yard flag, but they just gave 10 of those yards back to get it down to first and 20. Short drop, Leduc, this time looking to the near side. Got a man open, caught at the 25. It's against Smith as he's brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Gain of 31, and now you're into field goal territory, you would think.
Well, with their 2 timeouts as well, they got plenty of time to do whatever they need to do here.
90 yards on 3 catches for Kristen Smith. Minute and 58 seconds left. Coconino can stop the clock twice. I think Snowflake only has 1 timeout remaining. They're in the red zone, though, are the Lobos. Pistol formation. Green, who's been out there every play, going to serve as the lead blocker again for Leduc, who gets stood up after he goes inside the hash mark at the 17.
Takes a hard shot there. Again, you got to give credit. They obviously were coming in, game planning for Jacob Leduc and not to let him run the ball freely, and he's found tough sledding in the middle there.
Second down now and 8 after the 2-yard gain, again with Green in the backfield. Turn and give. He's running to the left, hesitates, gets to the 10, still on his feet as he's rolled up at the 11, I beg your pardon, very close to a first down. But it looks like it'll be third down and short, but right now as it stands would be somewhere in the neighborhood of a 28-yard field goal.
I think a first down here pretty much will make these next 3 plays will be for the game.
156 yards for Green. Low snap, turn and give to Green. He's got a low hole on the left side. He's still on his feet at the goal line. He's in the end zone. 11-yard run to put Snowflake back in front.
Well,
Comfort Fit Denture touchdown. Green now with 167 yards.
And a heck of a run there by Brenner for sure. And I think the thing that's going to go overlooked there is just the athletic play by Jacob to field that snap. You know, that ball was almost on the ground. Athletic enough to field that thing, make the handoff, and then for Green to finish that run. A heck of a play all the way around.
How about the connections, though, first between Leduc and Smith? Had just 81 yards prior to this drive, and then is able to connect between those two for 53. I beg your pardon, 55 yards, including the 15-yard personal foul. And now leading 28-23, the Lobos are going to go for 2.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you go anywhere besides 33?
Not tonight. He's been the guy coming in, and like we said, we were looking for the guys that are going to step up and do the job. And first of all, we haven't talked a lot about them, but that Lobo offensive line, they found ways to be effective. Got some work to do as pass protectors, but blocking for I almost said Taryn Green, but Brenner Green just been very effective.
I mean, all the attention is on Green right now, as it should be, but Leduc had the 35-yard pass on 4th and 17, or what was it, 4th and 12, or whatever it was. And then these 2 passes to set up Green. And they've been out there a lot as they're going to go with Leduc running hard, puts his head down and is denied at the 1. There are 43 seconds left. Coconino has 2 timeouts. And has already returned 1 kick for a score. So let's just go ahead and keep it here as I ask the 2 coaches, what do you do with this kick?
I say kick it to the little guy, not to 22.
Yeah, they've been kicking it over to these other 2 returners. That's one thing to try out. You're kicking into the wind this time, but I don't know. You got a young kicker. Trying to ask him to do something that's kind of out of his wheelhouse, like a squib kick or something.
More important than length if you don't squib it?
I would say so. Give your cover team a chance to get down. They have been doing a good job of kind of getting it over to the sideline here and isolating, cutting the field in half or a third over here is a lot less to cover.
Able to put a hit into this one, send it over to Reagan, catches it at the 5, to the 10, to the 20, and is met by a bunch of tacklers. Perhaps more importantly, that took 8 seconds off the clock.
And I'll tell you, that was a great kick. He had great height on that thing, and he kicked right inside the numbers to this far sideline. And when you can cut the field in a third, it's much easier to cover that kick. That was really, really well executed across the board.
What a game. 28-23, Snowflake back in front after having gone 80 yards in just under 2 minutes. And now, what is the strategy defensively? Are you just trying to make sure that the receivers stay in front of you, or can you afford to be that conservative?
Obviously can't give up the big play, like they did on that last series. Coconino's forced into, being a little bit more one-dimensional here, having to throw the ball. I like this Lobo secondary. That is one of the areas where they do have a little bit more experience coming back. So
they got 2 guys 25 yards back of the line of scrimmage. Utley dropping back, throws underneath, gets it to Callado, trying to make a man miss at the 30, but then gets stood up at the 34. 8 seconds come off the clock. It's still moving. They have 2 timeouts, but they're not going to use one now.
Yeah, I can't believe they're not. That was the one thing you couldn't have.
20 seconds left, and now they call the timeout. Oh,
no,
boy.
He spiked the ball.
Okay.
Took the snap and spiked it.
We're calling for the end zone, folks. I'm sorry.
We're going to third down.
I thought they let 9 seconds go off the clock and call the timeout. I beg your pardon.
Well, I think I agree with Coach Brogan. I think they probably should have taken the timeout, saved those 9 seconds. They rushed to the line of scrimmage, snapped the ball, and spiked it. But now they've got 3rd and 2 here.
3rd and 2, and again, the Lobos with at least one defender 20, 25 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Utley, who just completed that pass for 8 yards, this time going to open it up a little bit more, and it's nearly intercepted. Willis was in the neighborhood. 4th and 2, here's the ball game.
Well, now you get to 4th down. You might have wanted that play back, too. I mean, now you're at 4th down. You got one play to make it. Now you're going to be forced to call something shorter, a little safer to guarantee you get that 1st down, and that's going to chew some more clock up, and that's, you're really going to be in a tough situation. Even if you get the 1st down, you're going to be looking at 10 seconds.
Only 16 right now, do have 2 timeouts, but a lot of field in front of them as the Panthers are on their own 34-yard line. Utley needing 2 yards to try to get the game extended. Will turn and give Callado. He's going to run over the 40, 45, dropped at the 46, 11 seconds and a timeout taken after Irvin King was there with the stop.
Yeah, and that's, again, even with getting the 1st down and the clock stop until the chains get reset, you're almost forced to take that timeout because you can't even afford the 3 seconds that would run off at that point.
Great ball game. Great ball game tonight.
There's a lot of talent at the skill positions for both of these teams. It feels like 2 playoff teams from a year ago that had to replace so much are getting geared up to get right back out there this November. There's long, long ways to go till we get there, but there's a lot of skill talent out here.
Yeah, you see a lot of athleticism, a lot of quickness from both sides, running backs, wide receivers. Both quarterbacks have thrown the ball pretty well late in the game, especially as well. So a lot to look forward to both teams, I think.
Now they got 1 timeout to the Panthers. Does that give you enough time to try to gain 7 or 8 yards and then set up something that you can attempt to throw into the end zone? Or what is the strategy with what seems as if 2 plays and 2 timeouts, or 1 timeout?
I think he'll probably have a couple of different options here. Looking down the field, if he sees a matchup that he likes, they might try to take a shot here.
Again, a lot of players in the secondary very, very deep. Is this one caught at the 35, and then a dangerous tackle that was very high, but they're not going to throw a flag, but that gets him down to the 35 with 5 seconds left, so now Coconino will be able to throw it into the end zone.
I'll tell you what, they had an illegal shift, and that line judge over in the Coconino sideline didn't have the guts to throw the flag, but that wide receiver was on the line of scrimmage and stepped off at the snap of the ball, and it should have been called, but I don't know. You're 2 foot from the other coach. That's awfully hard to throw that flag at times, I guess. But yeah.
Well, they found some space there in the middle of the field, and so now that sets up an opportunity for maybe one or maybe 2 shots here to see what they can do.
But they got 5 seconds. If they're trying to get 2, it's probably got to go to the sideline fast, right?
Yes. Yeah. They can't hesitate if they don't have what they want. He's got to get rid of the ball.
Snowflake doesn't have defenders at the goal line, but they got him deep as there's a short drop. Utley with time. This is going to be the last play as he's trying to direct traffic, run into the sideline. He's going to get forced out of bounds by who we thought was injured. Olberg is going to make the play to end the ball game, unless there are flags. Are there flags?
And how about that? The freshman makes the first play of the game defensively for the Lobos and makes the last play of the game.
That's right. Bookends the game with 2 big plays there.
Look at that freshman. Big dude getting the stop. The Lobos with the 80-yard drive after giving up the lead to win it 28-23. Give me 9 more of these, huh?
Yeah, I tell you.
We'll start talking about it after this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learning new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC, Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Final score 28-23 after it looked like the Lobos were dominant throughout the second half. A 96-yard drive from Coconino that featured both lots of big plays on the ground and in the air, including a 45-yard score when it seemed as if the Lobos got that stop. Instead, we're having to run back out there and go 80 yards in their own right. It involved big plays, particularly from LeDuc to Smith as he was able to connect from 24 and 31 yards out. Also had a 15-yard pass, late hit out of bounds that added to that all set up Green 11 yards out. He goes in for his second touchdown, 167 yards on the game on 20 carries for Green as the Lobos needed a little bit of time to get things squared away on both sides of the ball, but once they did, especially on that offensive side, a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, we like we said, we knew that coming in, first game jitters, first game mistakes, you know that you're going to see those. Coconino caught some momentum early on the big kickoff return, and then and just we're playing at a different level than the Lobos to start the game, but with some adjustments and with some work. But the biggest thing is you just watching kids' confidence grow as they're finally starting to see the things that they've been coached on, but haven't quite seen them at the same speed and intensity that they're going to be seeing them every year. And you got to give Coach Cook credit. You got him on the screen there now, and his coaching staff. Coconino's a solid program, been in the playoffs for the past quite a few years. Their only losses last year were to 2 playoff teams in the 4A, and then they lost to Micah Mountain, the eventual champion last year. So great program, great stuff, and a great ball game tonight on both sides of the ball. But the Lobos managed to find just enough there to come out with a win.
What impressed you most about the way Coach Reddick was able to both get his guys ready and then adjust?
Well, and I mentioned it at halftime. We watched those coaches walk right in front of us off the field, and like I said, I'm not too far removed from that. That coaching staff knows how to put their heads together and talk about, hey, this is what I'm seeing, what are you seeing, and what can we do? And they'll pick 2 or 3 things on each side of the ball that they can adjust and focus on. And I think we saw that tonight with Brenner Green. Not only that they kind of put the ball in his hands at the second half, but I'm sure they saw some things with that off-tackle stretch run play, which really is not his bread and butter. He's a north-south, take the ball straight up the middle, smash mouth kind of runner, but we saw what kind of speed he has out on the edge too, and it was highly effective.
Mike Brogan, what were your big takeaways?
What really impressed me, I thought we talked about the 8 sacks, and the passing game seemed to struggle in that first half. I think the only completion they got was on that 4th down pass to Willis. But when they needed it most, they came up big on that last drive. So I think that speaks to coach's confidence in those players. But Jacob LeDuc's, I think, competitiveness and confidence, probably being his second year running the quarterback spot, but to be able to make those plays when they mattered most was really, really impressive to me. But you talk about the perfect start to a season. You walk away with a win. It's a good physical, competitive game against a good opponent, but there's still going to be plenty on the film they can go back and work on. And so from a coach's perspective, probably got everything that you wanted out of here. and plus a little heartburn to go with it, I think.
Had some scares at a couple of times. Saw Olberg walk off with his right knee iced at halftime. Saw Willis have to get both legs looked at one point. We were worried it was a knee. Jones also was getting stretched out at one point. It looked like they might be looking at his knee, but otherwise, not only did they get the win, not only get everything tightened up, do so without any injuries. Is that feels as we were watching players go down at different times, and especially looking at what we had seen last week at Round Valley, that feels like a big win in and of itself.
And you're glad to see that on both sides. Cayado, number 22 from Coconino, what a ball game. He showed up tonight and did a lot of good things. Utley, got dinged up a little bit. You saw guys play through that, and luckily nothing serious enough to keep a guy out of a game like this.
Before we take a look at some of the special moments from the ball game, got to give a shout out here to Erica Hernandez. Erica Hernandez is the winner of the ASU ticket draw. So what she needs to do now is send a private message to the iTalk Sports page. Erica Hernandez, congratulations, you're the big winner. Private message to the iTalk Sports page on Facebook, and you will learn how to claim your tickets. All right. The Horn Auto Center drive of the game, is there any question? Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more. I mean, the 80-yard drive is the one that was going to clinch it, but let's go back to the start of the second half. 2 fourth downs, 1 deep in their own territory, 1 fourth and huge. Which way do you look at this?
I was going to say, I would argue for that first drive coming out of halftime. That was such a huge, important moment of the game for this Lobo team to find the confidence to do what they did on that last drive of the game.
Yeah, and I'm with Coach on that. I think that's eventually where I would fall, but I think equally down 2 scores in that first quarter to put that long drive together as well, I think kind of balanced the ship, if you will. Felt like they were teetering a little bit after that kick return in the drive, so to come back and respond. But ultimately, I don't think you go wrong with any of those 3.
Well, and again, talking a lot about Leduc and Green, but allowing this young front an opportunity, to gel and put them in the position where they're able to go 80 yards with all the confidence that they have when they did so. There's so many drives here that you could talk about from the Snowflake perspective, but also got to give a shout out to Coconino going 96 yards when it looked like they didn't have anything in the tank. That was a pretty big drive as well. So lots to talk about there. The Horn Auto Center drives of the game, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more. Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. If you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Oh. I might be in trouble here.
I'm getting away from Coach.
He's still at work, guys. He's still at work.
Good job, guys.
This thing on?
Oh.
Hey! Retired at 99, finishing at 100, baby! The 1!
Yeah! I'll take it. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Love you, Coach.
Hey, if we got Coach Reddick who's going to come over here and jump into our broadcast, why don't we just put a headset on him? Hey.
Good one.
Okay. We'll get him on. We'll get him on here shortly. As we're going to get first of all, Coach Solomon is
see what you're doing.
Is still beloved by his Lobos.
If that doesn't tell you what's good about high school football right here, right? That's a good thing. That's a great thing.
I'm anxious to hear what Reddick's going to say about the glass-shattering hit of the game, and if nothing else, which of the players that he thinks is going to deserve the most attention. Because, like we kind of pointed out last week, and maybe this is a tribute to the way that everybody is coaching up their players to avoid these 15-yard penalties and such. They didn't have an awful lot of those really big, shocking style of hits. But how do you choose to read this stat, I guess?
Yeah, when you look at that stuff, too, and it certainly makes you miss Aiden Coor, right, from last year a little bit, because week in and week out, there was no doubt who was going to – he literally you could have picked him each week. And so I think you do see a little bit of, just a little bit of changing of the guard there. But I think that's probably right. You just get I wonder if it's coached a little differently or how that's working. But
let's.
You're going to talk to Trevor? Oh, you haven't talked to him?
We haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. Can I ask you a question before we get Coach Reddick on here? Because what we were just wondering, as we were setting up the Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game last week against Round Valley and Blue Ridge. Now we got Coach Reddick. Let's get him on here. Let's get him on. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's not how I expected that one to go.
How did you expect it to go?
Coconino's a good program. We've never been in a game with them per se. We've scrimmaged them a few times, and they're very good. They're big, they're physical. That we did know, but we've never played them in a game setting. And we didn't have a lot of stuff go right for us tonight as far as officials and those type of things. But you know what? We put our heads down, we played through it, and that's my favorite part about tonight.
Well, let's just kind of go chronologically here because our storyline when we were setting this up, so many absences along the front line from the semifinalists
100%.
last year. So how did you try to get those guys ready? How did they perform? How did you adjust?
You know what? That's a group to us that's going to continually get better as the year progresses. We bring back basically Lane and Wyatt, who had varsity experience last year, and everybody else is in there that it's new. And we've known that. But I'll tell you what, they played great tonight. I was super pleased with them. I don't know how many yards you guys had Brenner Green for, but he's probably pushing
167.
Yeah, for graduating everybody and bringing that back, I was pretty pleased. Coconino's a stout front. They're a very good football team, and that's one of the better boxes that we're going to see, I feel like, all year. Obviously, as the year progresses, people are going to get better, but to come out and see that night one, that's a good football team.
Take us into the 4th and 12. After you'd already converted deep in your own territory, it looked as if Leduc was trying to convince you guys to go for it. What was that conversation like?
Yeah, so was it the one where we caught that they didn't have a guy?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just looked over and they didn't have a guy on Cheon, and I'm like, hey, snap the ball and throw it over here. And there's a reason, right? There's a reason why Jacob punts the ball, and that is the thought behind it is, hey, if we can get him, we're in an offensive set. We're not in a true punt formation. So if people are trying to sub and do different things on us, sometimes that's what happens, and somebody ends up wide open, and, it's momentum, right?
We had mentioned deep in the second half that Snowflake had converted 2 4th downs. Coconino had only run 4 plays. And it seemed as if just your team had taken over the ball game, but there's 8 sacks over the course of the ball game going into that second to last possession. Was that a concern as the ball game was going on, or did it just kind of seem like a pesky nuisance?
No, I felt like every time we would get something going, something would happen and we would get back. I mean, you saw, I think we were 4th and 45 or something, yeah. And I looked at all of them and I'm like, I got a lot of plays for this. You know what I mean? Like there isn't any. But I felt like had we executed and punched that in, now we're up 2 scores and it's a completely different situation. We put our backs against the wall and Coconino made plays, and hats off to them.
Now, about that 96 yards, you kind of referenced a tough call there where it looked as if you got the stop on an illegal forward pass first. Can you tell us what they told you?
So what they told me was they initially they didn't throw a flag. They dropped the flag. They conversed. They said that when he threw the ball, he was at the line of scrimmage. When he landed, he was 2 yards past. It's high school football, right? There's no replay. So
wait. Okay, when he threw the ball, he was behind the line of scrimmage.
No, when he threw the ball, he was at the line of scrimmage, which is legal. If he lands past the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter where he lands. It's where he throws it.
Okay.
So that's what they saw, and I can't argue with them. There's no way to argue.
We were able to see 2 replays from 2 different angles, and in fairness, it looked like it was a coin flip.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I was like, hey, we did it to ourselves, right? If we punched the ball in 12 yards out, we're in a different situation anyways. So that's what happens, right? When you don't make plays like you're supposed to make plays, you find yourself in those situations.
So they kick it through the end zone. You got 80 yards, and Brogan says the inclination here is to start passing it, but the ground game had been so good. What were you planning on when that drive started?
So in my head, obviously, we had 258. When we got the ball back, we had 258. To me, that's not a situation where we have to rush anything. And I'm with you. I 100% agree. The ground game was cooking. I mean, Brenner ran for 160. So in my head, hey, if we can pop up a 15, 20-yarder, maybe they're in a prevent like they were before half, and it runs to 30 or 40, and lo and behold, we get a decent run to start things going. And a lot of times in those situations, it's more about flow, not necessarily, hey, we need a huge play. And I think people lose track of that, right? It's, hey, we need to get it all in one play, and you don't. Usually for us, if we can get the ball rolling and get things cooking, then we start meshing and start rolling into it, which we did. So got a long ball down the sideline.
And with that in mind, when so much of the conversation is about all the players you're trying to develop on the fly up front, but you got Leduc and you got Smith, and they were able to connect when you really needed a big play. What does that tell you about them?
To me, we knew it. Like, when the going gets tough, you go to your players that you know can handle it, right? And Christian's made plays for us in the past. Christian, we expect to have a big year. Gion's another one. Mason Rabin had a phenomenal game. Doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but many, many runs that Brenner broke. Mason's at the helm blocking. Mason had a couple plays on special teams too. Jacob's Jacob, right? Coulter Willis is another one. We're dealing with cramps all night. You can tell him, and you tell him, and you tell him, and those things happen. You don't have control over those things. You know what I mean? So it's tough. I'm just super thankful to come out of here with a win. And the way we did it, it's exciting for everybody. It's a heart attack for me. But, like I said, the resiliency, when your back's against the wall and you got to fight your way out, you learn a lot with wins like tonight.
Can we start looking at next week?
Yeah, we're going to have to because we got a good opponent coming up to Snowflake.
What are you expecting?
They're physical. If there's one thing I know about ALA, any ALA situation that you play, they're physical and they're going to have athletes. They'll have athletes everywhere. A lot of people don't know anything about them because they were in the 3A, but they played in the state championship last year. So
help us with one thing before we let you go.
Absolutely.
Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. If you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, 1-888-GLASS-MAN. Any hit or sequence of hits stand out to you?
To me, the big one that we all recognized, Coach Smith is yelling at me because we need to get Mason off the field more and he needs a break, right? Coach Will throws him on the kickoff, and Mason's the first one down there and lays a hit right in the middle of the field. And Jeremy looks at us and goes, okay, I guess he's playing on the kickoff. So Mason Rabin had a great night tonight.
Awesome. Hey, congratulations,
appreciate you guys.
Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
congrats, first win. That's big.
Thanks.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's Coach Reddick giving us all sorts of great play-by-plays. He picks up his first win as the head man, handing the headset back to the former head man. That was special. Were you expecting anything like that?
You guys got right in the middle of it. And, I had a few of the boys start texting me last night and say, Coach, you're getting your 100th win tomorrow night because I retired on 99. Which I'm perfectly fine with. I'm 100% fine with that, and I know that the record books can't be changed and reflect something different. But I love the sentiment, and that's part of this Lobo football program. I mean, that's what you've seen that's been so special over the past few years, and I should say, I'd extend it on to, it's part of Coach Brogan's program now, and our boys soccer program and our track programs, and just all of the success that you're seeing in Lobo athletics. So, going back to, I didn't get to hear some of Coach Reddick's interview, but I think as he sits down and chats with you here, you can see why I was comfortable passing this program on to him. Great guy. Like I said, been there every step of the way with me through what we built and what we've been successful with, and I expect him to take this program to even higher heights than we have in the past.
I don't know if we're mixing metaphors here, and maybe we can get you to hop in on this one, but it's just interesting. When I first started covering games up here, Blue Ridge had that swagger, and it seemed like it started with the football program and then just spread all the way out into the debate club. Like everybody that was going through Blue Ridge just identified with that football team. And you talk about how so many of the other programs are having success now. Does it kind of come back to the way that you were able to elevate the football program as high as you did?
I'd like to take all the credit. Sure,
I'm
why
trying
not?
to give it to you.
Well, certainly coaching one of the other sports that's had a pretty successful run. I will tell you, one of the most meaningful things for me is before I had even coached a game, we were doing a game in Sholo that Snowflake had won on a bang at the goal line 3 years ago, and we were doing the post-game interview, and Coach Solomon took time out in that interview literally and said, hey, we're really excited to have you as part of our coaching staff. Welcome to Lobo family. And that meant probably more to me than he'll ever understand, just to be accepted, because Snowflake's been a successful athletic program, and at that point I think you guys were coming off of a back-to-back 3A or maybe a finals and a championship at that time. But just to be accepted with that, by Coach Solomon meant an awful lot to me. I've been able to reach out to him a couple of times, hey, we're doing this, struggling with this, that type of thing, and I think that there's that type of attitude amongst all the coaches there. Everybody is bought into the other program's successes. A lot of it's the same kids and the same families that are competing for the boys teams and the girls teams. And so absolutely, I think football team led the charge, volleyball team followed, and the rest of us are trying to get to that same level.
And I could say selfishly, just because I'm not trying to flatter you here, but that was such a special moment that we saw. And that was the thing when I texted you and said, hey, we'd love to have you on the show. And you responded as like, well, I don't know if I've ever done this before. But it was that sort of way that the community just continues to love and embrace you that I thought was going to be great and just bring so much in addition to all your expertise. So that was special.
Well, and I'm always just going to reflect that right back onto the program and the kids. And, they get, all of us get what it means to play for something more than just yourself. You see a lot of unselfish play. You see coaches making unselfish decisions. And like I said, I could care less about 100 wins or 99 wins or 20 wins. Every one of them that, was for the community and the people that support us. And, you harken back to those Blue Ridge times and, those were special times for Lakeside and Blue Ridge, and you saw the pride that program had through that special run that they had. Coach, as I didn't know them at the time, but Coach Morrow, pretty special guy. I got to know him when he was actually coaching at Marcos Deniza, and when he'd actually been dismissed as Marcos Deniza's coach, he showed up at a lineman competition with his Marcos Deniza lineman after he already knew he wasn't going to be their coach anymore. And I asked him, "What are you doing, Coach?" And he just said, "Well, they're still going to play football next year. I don't know who's going to coach them, but they need the work." And so he was still working, and Coach London, and coach, just all those special men that coached up there through that time period. And we're enjoying that now. And, honestly, I hope every team on the mountain experiences that at some point in time, because it really does make a high school a special place to be.
Really quick here, and we thank everybody who's still watching us. We had more than 500 at one point. I think I just overheard we have 160 still watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for continuing to listen to this conversation. We got to do the Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint Player of the Game. Get your windshield replaced by the experts. So many opportunities on both sides of the ball. It got a lot of guys at Coconino, even a losing effort, who could potentially make a case for this. But, green?
Yeah, it's got to be green, right? With those 2 touchdown runs, well, I guess there were 3, but the last one especially was just as much want to as it was anything else.
I would agree with that. What a special night for him to have a coming out party tonight, and so that would be my vote as well.
That the Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint Player of the Game. Get your windshield replaced by the experts. As we thank all of our sponsors, Ace Hardware and Pine Top Overgarden Cholo with the keys to the game, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show, Northland Pioneer College with another busy day on the kickoffs, the Horn Auto Center for the drives of the game, Summit Regional Medical Center for a lot of close calls, but thankfully just cramps. Comfort Fit Dentures for some touchdown action. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint for the Player of the Game. Excited now to get the first home game with Snowflake coming up of a big win, 1-0 on the year, and have to take on a state championship participant coming up. It's going to be a tough one here. ALA West Foothills.
ALA West Foothills, a solid team last year. Again, in that 3A championship, and we saw a big win tonight. I don't know what the final ended up being, but big win over Westview, and so Snowflake will have their work cut out for them next week.
They had a large offensive line last year, a couple 300-pounders and whatnot, so excited to see what they show up with. It should be a good test.
We'll have it with you at Snowflake. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Thanks, Guy Chili, helping us out at halftime. Coaches Solomon and Brogan. I'm Derek Palmer. Mel, Cooper, Corbin on the computers and on the TD. Everybody doing a great job today. We're looking forward to bringing it to you again. Oh, and Robin. Sorry, Robin. He's way away from us. He's usually sitting right next to us. Shout out, Robin. All right, next week from Snowflake. Until then, this has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 KNKI Pine Top and iTalk1067.com. Brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Nemers Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, and Comfort Fit Dentures. This broadcast has been a copyrighted production of iTalk 1067 and Country Mountain Airwaves, a Kopaniki communications station. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of iTalk 1067 or Country Mountain Airwaves is strictly prohibited. For more information on this game and other games around the region, go to iTalk1067.com.